Chapter 22:45. Longao hadn't expected the god diviner to say such a thing. Friend or foe? Longao was a bit confused. The god diviner was either sincere to him, or his disguise was too good. The god diviner himself didn't reveal any flaws. It would be extremely difficult for him to see through him. Many thanks. Longao, you can go. Longao didn't linger. He turned and left. Only the god diviner remained in the crystal palace. Things are getting more complicated. Longao is too unpredictable. Should I cut the weeds and eliminate the roots? The god diviner couldn't make up his mind. He didn't know what to do. Longao was both the key and the variable. Even if he was the god diviner, he was still gambling. If he won, he would obtain a huge opportunity. If he lost, all his previous efforts would be for naught. He left the crystal palace. Longao took a few steps and returned to the massacre abyss. In the current Dragon Valley, only 1 in 10,000 people had broken through to the Starry Sky realm. The laws of the universe made it so that those who hadn't broken through to the Starry Sky realm couldn't enter. If they tried to force their way in, they would definitely die. The only way was to put everyone in the Primal Chaos Palace and bring them out of the Martial Heaven continent. However, Longao felt helpless. The Primal Chaos Palace could only hold 100 people. If he had to move them again and again, who knew how many times he would have to move them? No matter how he thought about it, he couldn't come up with a good idea. However, Longao did come up with a good idea. Perhaps others wouldn't be able to do it, but the Starry Sky Immortal would definitely be able to. This method was very simple. It was to borrow the Starry Sky Immortal's power to forcibly create a transportation formation between the Martial Heaven continent and the Soaring Dragon Empire. That way, they would be able to move everyone in the shortest time possible. However, if he wanted to create a transportation formation, he had to get the god diviner's permission. Otherwise, how could he casually create one without the god diviner's permission? The god diviner agreed without the slightest hesitation. The god diviner would create the transportation formation for the Martial Heaven continent. As for the Soaring Dragon continent, Gutian would create the transportation formation for them. The next day, everyone in the entire Massacre Abyss chose to enter the teleportation circle, moving from the Sky Martial continent to the Soaring Dragon continent. In the short span of a day, everyone had been transferred. All of them have been transferred? Yes, thank you, Senior. Without the slightest bit of accident, Longao heaved a sigh of relief. He had been worried that Master Clairvoyant was up to something. However, Longao knew that if Master God Diviner wanted to deal with him, no matter where he went, Master God Diviner would be able to find him. After all, he had personally witnessed the power of the Starry Sky Ruler. Longao, I have already destroyed the teleportation circle. The Soaring Dragon Empire has Gutian, so there shouldn't be any problems for the time being. However, you still have to remember, unless you have no other choice, don't use ancient strength casually. I understand. Longao was very depressed. Even if he wanted to utilize Gutian and Yiji's strength, the two of them had to be willing to be utilized by him. Before they came to the Empire, Gutian had already made it very clear that they would only protect the Empire's safety. As for the Empire's development, the two of them wouldn't care too much. Is there anything else? Master God Diviner, I would like to ask you for a favor. Speak. I want a Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead. Longao asked for this Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead on behalf of Jinwudi because he had promised Jinwudi that he would help him break through to a higher realm. Under normal circumstances, Jinwudi would need a long time to break through from a titled world venerable to a Starry Sky Realm Emperor. Moreover, Longao was doing a favor for his friend. If Jinwudi could devour this Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead, he would be able to break through to the Starry Sky Realm Emperor in the shortest time possible. As for the future, it wasn't something he could control. Master God Diviner didn't waste any time and directly threw out 4 Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead, titled World Emperor's Godhead, Starry Sky Ancestor's Godhead, and titled World Ancestor's Godhead. If Jinwudi could devour 4 Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godheads consecutively, he would be able to break through to the titled World Ancestor's realm. Just this once. Many thanks. Longao stood up and left. He didn't expect Master God Diviner to be so straightforward. Not only did he give him a Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead, he even gave him the other three. After leaving the Sky Martial Continent, Longao returned to the Soaring Dragon Realm. "Brother Long, are you looking for me?" Jian Wudi didn't expect Longao to find him a Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead in such a short time. Taking out a Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead, Longao smiled and said, "After you devour this Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead, you should be able to break through to the Starry Sky Realm Emperor's realm." Longao was also a selfish person. Although Jian Wudi was half a citizen of the Soaring Dragon Empire, he wasn't a citizen of the Soaring Dragon Empire. This Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead was something he had promised to give to Jian Wudi. Receiving the Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead from Longao, Jian Wudi said gratefully, "Brother Long, thank you for finding this Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead for me. To tell you the truth, Master also found me a Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead, but I didn't devour it." In an instant, Longao had already understood Jian Wudi's intention. It turned out that Jian Wudi was the same as him. He wanted to rely on his own cultivation to reach the peak of the martial Dao step by step. However, Jian Wudi was a little different from him. If Jian Wudi encountered a legend rank or Starry Sky Immortal Godhead, he would definitely not decline. Taking back the Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead, Longao smiled and said, "If that's the case, I won't force you. You're too polite. Then I won't stay any longer. Master is looking for me. All right, take care." Longao didn't continue to persuade Jian Wudi to stay. He could sense that Jian Wudi had something to ask of him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in such a hurry to leave. Since Jian Wudi didn't want the Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godhead, Longao naturally had a candidate in mind. If one person devoured 4 Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godheads, although it was a little wasteful, the refining speed would be very fast. If 4 people devoured the Godheads, they could create 4 experts, but the refining speed would be slower. After thinking about it, Longao ultimately chose to give the Godheads to his elder brother. As the Emperor of the Empire, Longying was considered the most important person in the Empire. Others might not have strength, but his elder brother must have strength. If his elder brother could devour 4 Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godheads, he could definitely break through to the titled World Ancestor realm. No one could compare to his own family. Looking at the 4 Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godheads in his hand, Longing was shocked. He thought that Longao knew what the 4 Starry Sky Realm Emperor's Godheads meant. If he could devour them, he could definitely become a titled World Ancestor expert. Author's note: another 5 chapters, continued at night. Chapter 2246. For Starry Sky Godheads. Starry Sky Realm Emperor Godhead, titled Realm Emperor Godhead. Starry Sky Ancestor Godhead, titled Universe Ancestor Godhead. If Longing devoured all 4 Starry Sky Godheads, he would become a titled Universe Ancestor. Longing was very excited because he had never thought that there would be a day when he could become a titled World Ancestor with his cultivation. Seventh brother, thank you. Longing knew that if it wasn't for his 7th brother, he wouldn't have been able to reach this step. Big brother, you and I are brothers. There's no need to be so polite. Hurry up and refine the 4 Starry Sky Godheads. He nodded. Longing certainly knew the seriousness of the matter. With the development of the Soaring Dragon Empire, there would be a lot of trouble and danger at any time. The stronger he was, the more help he would be to the Empire. Longing didn't hesitate and immediately began to devour the 4 Starry Sky Godheads. However, Longao knew that even with his brother's talent, it was impossible for him to become a titled Universe Ancestor in a short time after devouring the 4 Starry Sky Godheads. At this moment, the Soaring Dragon Realm welcomed a new person. Others might not know, but Longao knew very well what this person meant. Blood Demon, the Starry Sky Destroyer. Blood Demon was sealed in the Dragon Seal by Long Mie for more than 10,000 years. Longao was almost certain. Blood Demon and Long Mie definitely had a grudge against each other, but they were both afraid of each other and didn't explode. If there was a chance, whether it was Blood Demon or Long Mie, they would think of all kinds of ways to destroy each other. The Starry Sky Destroyer wasn't really immortal. Longao, you don't have to worry. I'm not here to find trouble with you. In fact, there's no grudge between us. It's all because of Longao. Longao nodded in agreement. There was indeed no grudge between him and Blood Demon. Even so, it would be a lie to say that he wasn't afraid. No matter what, Blood Demon's identity was there. If he regained the Starry Sky Destroyer, it would be a matter of minutes for him to destroy the Empire and himself. Longao could clearly feel that Blood Demon was no longer the same as before. Even he couldn't sense Blood Demon's true strength. In other words, he had no idea what kind of strength the Blood Demon had recovered. Titled Universe Ancestor? Starry Sky Powerhouse? Star Legend? Or Starry Sky Undying? He didn't know it all, so Longao was very afraid. However, the Soaring Dragon Empire now had a Starry Sky Legend and a Starry Sky Immortal. As long as the Blood Demon's cultivation hadn't recovered to Starry Sky Dominator, he wouldn't be able to do anything. Blood Demon, may I know what brings you here? He went straight to the point. Longao didn't want to have anything to do with the Blood Devil. He always had a bad feeling in his heart. It was too much of a coincidence for him to be in contact with all 12 rulers of the stars for no reason at all. Even he didn't want to believe it. Blood Devil smiled. Longao, why do you reject me? I can tell you clearly that Longao is your enemy, and I can only be your friend. According to my guess, Longao will definitely deal with you in the future if nothing unexpected happens. Do you think you can compete with a Starry Sky ruler with your own strength? He couldn't. Longao didn't even wait for the Blood Devil to finish speaking before answering in his heart. The 12 rulers of the stars were already the most powerful beings in the vast universe. He couldn't be a match for them unless he could refine the Chaos Stone Tablet in his body and become a new Starry Sky ruler. However, until now, Longao wasn't sure if the Chaos Stone Tablet he swallowed could help him become a Starry Sky ruler. What if it couldn't? However, Longao wasn't too worried. Even if he couldn't become a Starry Sky ruler, at least he had Longchong's help. It should be known that Longchong had already swallowed the 5 elements Chaos Stone Tablet. If nothing unexpected happened, Longchong would definitely become a Starry Sky ruler in the future. Longao knew very well that Longchong's situation was different from Longming and Jimei's. Whether it was Longming or Jimei, they were Starry Sky rulers. It was just that they hadn't awakened their primordial spirits before. That was why they had distanced themselves as soon as they had awakened their primordial spirits. Longao knew that his relationship with Jimei and Longming had changed. As for whether they would be friends or enemies in the future, it was still unknown. With Longchong's help, the other Starry Sky rulers wouldn't dare act rashly. Longao didn't tell anyone about this. Only Longming, Jimei, and Xiantong knew. As for Xiantong, Longao knew that at the very least, Xiantong wouldn't be his enemy. I don't understand what you mean. Longao didn't know why Blood Devil had come this time. He didn't know why Blood Devil would say that out of the blue. After all, the grudge between him and Longao didn't seem to have anything to do with him. As if he could guess Longao's thoughts, Blood Devil smiled and said, Longao, I'm here to ask you for a favor. Don't worry, I won't ask for your help for nothing. If you can help me, I'll give you a Starry Sky Immortal Godhead unconditionally. Moreover, it's a complete set of Starry Sky Immortal Godheads. That way, you can create a Starry Sky Immortal Godhead in the shortest time possible. How long? 1 year will be enough. Longao didn't have the slightest doubt. Others might not be able to do it, but that didn't mean Blood Devil couldn't. No matter what, Blood Devil was still a Starry Sky ruler and a Starry Sky ruler. First, I want to know, what's this about? Longao wasn't a fool. He knew that Blood Devil wouldn't give him so many Starry Sky Immortal Godheads for nothing. He knew what it meant to create a Starry Sky Immortal Godhead in 1 year. Thus, Longao didn't agree immediately. If it was a matter of life and death, he would rather give up. Longao knew that he couldn't let anything happen to him. If something happened to him, what about his family? What about his lover? What about his family? What about the Empire? Longao, don't worry. To you, this matter won't bring you any harm. Perhaps you can use this chance to break through continuously. I can give you these Starry Sky Immortal Godheads in advance. From the Starry Sky Territory Ancestor to the Starry Sky Immortal Godheads, All the starry sky immortal godheads appeared in the air and Longao caught them. Longao knew that Blood Devil had come prepared this time. If he didn't agree, Blood Devil wouldn't give up. Pondering for a while, Longao said, "Give me 3 days. After 3 days, we will leave the soaring dragon realm. What do you think?" "No problem." Blood Devil didn't even think before agreeing. He seemed to have guessed that Longao would agree. Chapter 22:47. Who should he find to devour these star god sparks? Longao was very clear that with the starry sky godhead in his hands, he could indeed create a starry sky, undying being within a year. He found that these star god sparks had already been refined by Blood Demon. Who should he choose? After thinking for a while, Longao decided on one. Grandpa Longhausher. Yes, it was Longhausher. "No, Ao. I know you're doing this for Grandpa's sake, but I'm old. Why waste these star god sparks?" Looking at the star god sparks in his hand, Longhausher was dumbfounded. Starry Sky Undying was the strongest existence in the vast universe besides the 12 rulers of stars. Ever since the 12 rulers of stars fell, Starry Sky Uncultivated was the strongest in the universe. Longhausher's meaning was simple. He wanted to devour these star god sparks for nothing. Longao shook his head. "Grandpa, I've made up my mind. Hurry up and devour them." Longhausher knew his grandson well. Once he decided on something, he wouldn't change his mind. He sighed deeply. Longhausher didn't say anything else and went into seclusion to cultivate. 1 year. After 1 year, Longhausher would break through to Starry Sky Undying, which meant that the Soaring Dragon Empire would have its own Starry Sky Undying. That way, even if Gutian left the Empire, there would at least be a Starry Sky Undying. No one would dare to provoke the Empire. 3 days later, Longao didn't tell anyone that he was leaving the Soaring Dragon Empire. Blood Demon, where are we going now? Even now, Longao didn't know where Blood Demon was taking him or what he needed him to do. Longao, to tell you the truth, I've successfully reincarnated and destroyed the tablet, but I can't refine it. Strictly speaking, I can't become a Starry Sky Undying again. What did that mean? Longao was shocked. He knew what it meant if Blood Demon couldn't become a Starry Sky Undying. What had happened? Longao's intuition told him that things weren't that simple. What happened? He was curious. Longao, I believe you already know what happened back then. Longao knew very well that the Blood Demon was referring to the 12 star rulers who had fallen together and entered the reincarnation path. Could it be that Blood Demon's inability to refine the primal chaos tablets was related to what had happened in the past? Longao nodded but did not say anything. We can say with absolute certainty that Master God Diviner was the one behind everything that happened back then. Longao was very clear about this. Yang Qi refused to believe that Master God Diviner could have been the first to awaken his nascent divinity and become the sovereign lord of the starry sky. Master God Diviner has already returned to being the ruler of the starry skies. Normally speaking, even if the process of assimilating the chaos tablets is slow, it shouldn't be this slow. I don't know what the situation is with the other rulers of the starry skies, but I've gradually come to the realization that I can't truly assimilate the chaos tablets. Therefore, I can't become the ruler of the starry skies. Then what do you want? Come with me to a place. As for the reason, you'll know soon enough. Longao grew more and more curious. He got straight to the point. Blood Demon, forgive me for being blunt, but why do you want me to come with you? Longao was very clear about his own power. He couldn't reach the sovereign lord of the starry sky. Longao, you and I are both smart people. Perhaps your power hasn't reached our expectations, but I can say with absolute certainty that in the future, you will be able to control the movements of the starry skies. Longao didn't completely believe the Blood Demon's words. He could control the starry skies? What nonsense was that? What qualifications did he have? If the 12 rulers of the starry skies could control the starry skies, then that was true. Other than the 12 rulers of the starry skies, perhaps not even the eternal stars could do that. Blood Demon, where are we going? Longao didn't want to waste time. After dealing with this matter, he had other matters to attend to. The Blood Demon seemed to be able to guess what Longao was thinking. Thinking about it, he said, Longao, I'm going to take you to the martial heaven continent to ask the god diviner. Longao cursed inside. You're going to ask the god diviner about the primal chaos tablet? What's the point of dragging me along? He was truly depressed. Blood demon, forgive me for being blunt, but you can go by yourself. Why drag me along? Would the god diviner give him face? The god diviner wouldn't even give face to the other rulers of the starry skies, let alone him. Longao, my meaning is very simple. I'm not asking you to take me to the martial heaven continent to see the god diviner. While I'm holding him back, you have to find a way to enter a place and help me find something. If you can find it, perhaps I can refine the primal chaos tablet. I'll do my best. Since things had already reached this point, how could he refuse? Longao was very clear that if he refused, the blood demon wouldn't hesitate to attack. He didn't care, but what about the Empire? The martial heaven continent. The blood demon's thoughts were too simple. As soon as the two of them entered the martial heaven continent, before Longao could leave, the god diviner appeared in front of them. He smiled and said, "Please." The blood demon was a bit surprised. He had never imagined that the god diviner would be able to sense Longao's presence despite being enveloped by his aura. Just how had the god diviner done it? Since they had been discovered, the two of them didn't continue hiding. Instead, they left with the god diviner. The outer sea, the crystal palace. Longao sat at the side and did not say anything. He was very depressed in his heart. This Motherf Kerr had only left for a few days, and he actually came back again. The main reason was that he wondered if the godly mathematician would deal with him because he was with the blood devil. For some reason, Longao had a feeling that the god diviner wasn't as simple as he seemed. Otherwise, why would the 12 rulers of the starry skies have died at the same time? How could the god diviner have awakened his Yuan spirit so early? It was a bit strange. It wasn't just him. The other 11 rulers were curious about this as well. They just hadn't asked yet. God diviner, let's get straight to the point. Did you do something to the primal chaos tablet? I can't refine it, so please give me an explanation. Wait a moment. Just at this moment, 9 terrifying auras appeared. Before Longao could react, 8 figures appeared. They were the devouring starry sky ruler, lightning starry sky ruler, space starry sky ruler, time starry sky ruler, reincarnation starry sky ruler, slaughter starry sky ruler, sword will starry sky ruler, and the indestructible tyrant body starry sky ruler. Chapter 22:48. 12 rulers of the starry sky. Rulers of the 5 elements starry sky, devouring starry sky, lightning starry sky, space starry sky, time starry sky, destruction starry sky, reincarnation starry sky, slaughter starry sky, clairvoyant starry sky, sword will starry sky, indestructible tyrant body starry sky, and darkness starry sky. Longchong, the ruler of the 5 elements starry sky, wasn't present. Darkness starry sky was no longer present, having been destroyed by Master God Diviner. The remaining rulers of the starry sky were all present. Xiling, Longming, Yijimei, and Xian Tong were all present as well. In other words, the 10 most powerful people in the starry sky had all gathered at the Crystal Palace in the outer sea. Longchong understood that this gathering had been arranged by Master God Diviner. Otherwise, these lofty rulers of the starry sky wouldn't have appeared at the same time. The blood demon was furious, because he knew what had happened. Cough, cough, cough. Master God Diviner coughed. He looked at the crowd and said, "You came to me one after another to ask why I couldn't refine the chaos steels. I won't answer you one by one. I'll wait for all of you to come, and then I'll answer you all at once." No one was surprised in the slightest. Longchong sat off to the side, not saying a word. Under these circumstances, he couldn't get a word in edgewise. Each of them was a lofty ruler of the starry sky. Any one of them could cause the entire starry sky to tremble with a stomp of their feet. Seeing that no one was speaking, Master God Diviner continued, "I can now clearly tell you that I didn't lie to you. If you don't believe me, you can choose to leave." It was mandatory, because Master God Diviner was now the strongest person in the starry sky. Under these circumstances, who would dare oppose him? They could only be angry, but not dare say anything. Seemingly satisfied with their attitude, Master God Diviner laughed. You can't refine the chaos steels this time. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a difference in compatibility between you and your respective chaos steels. After all, you've already reincarnated. Everyone nodded in agreement. That was the only reason they could come up with. It was very depressing. Master God Diviner's words. They'd chosen to die and reincarnate. But now, they couldn't even refine the chaos steels. It was so depressing. But what they couldn't figure out was how Master God Diviner was able to refine his primal chaos tablet. One reason. Unless the godly mathematician hadn't perished and hadn't entered the cycle of reincarnation. Thinking of this, everyone despised Master Godly Mathematician to the extreme. Even so, no one dared to say a word. Clairvoyant, what should we do now? No one wanted to pursue the past. Even if he wanted to pursue the matter, he would have to see if it was appropriate. In any case, Master God Diviner was now the strongest of them all. Everyone knew that even if Master God Diviner couldn't truly destroy them, all he had to do was seal them. It's simple. Everyone pricked up their ears, wanting to hear more about the oracle. Given the current situation, he had to refine the primal chaos stone tablet first before anything else. Please speak. Refine as much as you can. Break through to the starry sky immortal realm first. When the time comes, I'll help everyone refine it. What did that mean? Everyone was completely confused. Wasn't Master Godly Mathematician telling everyone that he could help them refine the primal chaos stone tablet, but not now? He wanted them to wait. Just like that. Everyone's fate was in Master Godly Mathematician's hands. When the time came, Master Godly Mathematician would do as he said. No one dared to say a word. Master Godly Mathematician, why aren't you helping me refine the primal chaos stone tablet now? It's simple. Because I'm not ready. All right, don't ask anything else. I won't tell you. If you're not convinced, you can refine it yourself. Don't come looking for me in the future. If it was before, would Master Godly Mathematician dare to do this? But now, no one dared to say a word. Everyone stood up and chose to leave one by one. So what if they weren't convinced? Master Godly Mathematician's meaning was clear. If they weren't convinced, they could fight back or leave. But no one dared to say a word. This was strength. After everyone left, Master Godly Mathematician said, Longao, are you curious why they can't refine their primal chaos stone tablets? Nodding his head, Longao said, I am indeed very curious. According to normal circumstances, they have already refined the primal chaos tablet once before. Even if the difficulty of refining the second time is higher, it is impossible for them to have no chance at all. It had to be Master Godly Mathematician's doing. There was no doubt about it. Longao couldn't figure out why Master Godly Mathematician would tell him. Was his status higher than the other rulers of the universe? That was utter nonsense. Longao knew his own status better than anyone else. Compared to the other rulers of the universe, he was nothing. Because of this, he couldn't figure it out. It seems you've guessed it, Master Godly Mathematician said. You're right. I did something to the primal chaos stone tablets. Back when I was the first to awaken my nascent divinity, I took all of the other tablets. Do you know why I did that? Longao nodded. How could he possibly know what Master Godly Mathematician was thinking? But what he couldn't figure out was why Master Godly Mathematician didn't seal the other rulers of the universe. That way, he would be able to dominate the universe. That was something that everyone would want. Furthermore, Longao couldn't figure out why Master Godly Mathematician had done something to the other primal chaos stone tablets. Could it be that everything that had happened years ago had been a trap set up by Master Godly Mathematician to harm the other rulers of the universe? Longao, Master Godly Mathematician said, I'll explain everything to you in a bit. But right now, all I can tell you is that if I succeed, it won't just be me. Everyone else, including you, will benefit. Understand? What did that have to do with him?
Yes.
Of course, Longao didn't say anything else. After all, he couldn't afford to have a falling out with Master Godly Mathematician. Not even the other rulers of the universe would dare to provoke Master Godly Mathematician. After all, Master Godly Mathematician was the most powerful person in the universe. Longao didn't linger. Instead, he rose to his feet and left. Master Godly Mathematician was the only one left in the Crystal Palace. It's not time yet, Master Godly Mathematician said with a deep sigh. Chapter 22:49. All the rulers of the starry sky had left. Only Xiling remained. Xiling had been waiting for Longao the entire time, in the void of the 9 heavens. Xiling, you were waiting for me? Yes. Let's leave the Tianwu plain first. All right. Longao knew what Xiling was afraid of. The Tianwu plain was the Master God Diviner's territory. It was better to be safe than sorry. Who knew if the Master God Diviner could hear them? The two of them left the Tianwu continent and casually found a plane to stop in. Where's Bai Ling? Longao missed Bai Ling very much. As soon as they stopped, he asked. Bai Ling is recovering. You don't need to worry. Longao, I just realized that the Master God Diviner treats you very well. Why did you appear in the Crystal Palace in the Outer Sea? Longao didn't hesitate in the slightest. He roughly explained what had happened. Longao trusted Xiling very much. Although Xiling wasn't his confidant, he definitely wouldn't give her back to him. That was something he was incomparably certain of. Longao, do you feel that something is wrong? Yes. The Master God Diviner has already made it clear that he tricked you. Furthermore, he has already destroyed the Dark Ruler. Hearing this, Violet's spirit was completely stunned. Xiling knew that Longao wouldn't lie to her. Could it be that the Master God Diviner had really destroyed the Dark Ruler? What's going on? Longao also didn't hide anything. He told her everything that had happened. The more she listened, the graver her expression became. Xiling hadn't expected the Master God Diviner to be able to destroy a starry sky ruler. If Longao hadn't told her, she wouldn't have believed it. Even if the 12 starry sky rulers weren't truly immortal, they couldn't die so easily. Even if they were on the same level, it would be very difficult for them to destroy another starry sky ruler. How had the Master God Diviner done it? She couldn't figure it out. He simply couldn't figure it out. Xiling's face looked grim. If Wizard Clairvoyant could destroy Dark Galaxy Leader, then he could destroy other galaxy leaders as well. If that was the case, then Master Clairvoyant was a little too terrifying. Longao, there are 2 possibilities. The first is that the Clairvoyant can really destroy the star race. The second is that the Clairvoyant is using a trick. Are you saying that the Dark Starry Sky Dominator didn't die? Yes. Xiling thought for a moment and continued. The 12 of us are protected by the Chaos Stone Tablet. It is impossible for us to die unless the Chaos Stone Tablet chooses to leave on its own. Only then can it be destroyed. Longao had also suspected this. That said, he had personally witnessed Master God Diviner destroy the Dark Starry Sky. It was too strange. Let's not worry about that for now. Master God Diviner is in control of our primal Chaos Tablets. If we don't deal with this quickly, we'll all become puppets of Master God Diviner. So serious? Thinking about it, he felt relieved. If Master God Diviner could control the other Chaos Steels, then controlling the other rulers of space would be a simple matter. It was indeed frightening. Even now, Longao still couldn't figure out how Master God Diviner had done it. Xiling, how can I help you? Nothing could happen to Xiling. Not to mention his relationship with Bai Ling. Just his relationship with Xiling meant that nothing could happen to Xiling. Longao had already decided that even if he had to fall out with Master God Diviner in the future, he would still help Xiling. How could Xiling not understand Longao's intentions? She was right. Anyone else would have chosen to flee in the face of such a powerful Master God Diviner. Who would dare fight the Starry Sky Dominator? Almost no one would dare. However, Violet's spirit was certain that Longao would do the same. She knew Longao too well. Longao was fearless. Not to mention fighting against a godly mathematician. Even if he had to fight against all of the Starry Sky Rulers, Longao would do the same if he had no other choice. Xiling, Yi Mei, and Long Ming's situation, I'm sure you already know. I'm not sure whether they'll be friends or foes in the future, but Xin Tong and I are on good terms. Longao was indeed depressed about this. He'd rather they weren't rulers of space. That way, things wouldn't have gotten to this point. But since they were rulers of space, there was nothing he could do. Even if they met on the battlefield in the future, there was nothing he could do. Whether it was Yiji Mei or Long Ming, their attitudes had undergone a 180-degree change. Long Ao was depressed. Why didn't anyone else become rulers of space? Why did they choose these two? He was really unlucky. Xiling knew what Long Ao was thinking. She sighed deeply and said, Long Ao, I'm really curious. Why do all the rulers of space surround you? And why does the Master God Diviner treat you like this? It seems that your identity is not simple. Or perhaps the Master God Diviner has already calculated something. You might be a variable. Long Ao didn't say anything. He had already guessed that if he wasn't a variable, the Master God Diviner wouldn't treat him like this. Besides, Yiji Mei, Xin Tong, Long Ming, Long Mie, and the other rulers of space were all around him. If it was only one or two, it might be a coincidence. But if all the rulers of space were like this, then it couldn't be a coincidence. It seems that I'll be in big trouble in the future. Yes, you have to improve your strength as soon as possible. Remember, before you're fully confident, don't make an enemy of the Master God Diviner. Otherwise, Xiling didn't finish speaking, but the meaning was clear. The Master God Diviner was no longer the same as before. Unless Xiling could completely refine the Chaos Stone Tablet and become a ruler of space, no one would be his match. Long Ao, of course, knew what Xiling was worried about. He nodded and said, Xiling, there's one more thing. The ruler of the 5 elements Starry Sky has fallen. I've given the 5 elements Chaos Stone Tablet to Long Chong to devour. If nothing unexpected happens, Long Chong will become the new ruler of space. Xiling sighed deeply. If the ruler of the dark starry sky had really fallen, then what happened in the past would have caused the deaths of 2 rulers of the starry sky. He would be lying if he said he wasn't worried. Xiling had always thought that even if he wasn't immortal, he would never die. But with the deaths of 2 rulers of the starry sky, he gradually realized that things weren't as simple as he thought. Especially in a situation like this, it was getting more and more troublesome. No one knew what the Master God Diviner meant. At that moment, Xiling, can you take out the Chaos Stone Tablet in your body and let me have a look? If anyone else dared to do this, they would have been killed by Jianling. But since Long Ao said so, Xiling didn't say anything. Chapter 2250. Xiling didn't know what Long Ao was going to do. He released the Chaos Stone Tablets in his body. 12 Chaos Stone Tablets. 5 Elements Primal Chaos Tablet. Devour Primal Chaos Tablet. Lightning Primal Chaos Tablet. Space Primal Chaos Tablet. Time Primal Chaos Tablet. Destruction Primal Chaos Tablet. Reincarnation Primal Chaos Tablet. Slaughter Primal Chaos Tablet. Divine Divination Primal Chaos Tablet. Sword Intent Primal Chaos Tablet. Immortal Tyrant Body Primal Chaos Tablet. Darkness Primal Chaos Tablet. Xiling's Chaos Stone Tablet was one of the 12 Chaos Stone Tablets. Sword Intent Chaos Stone Tablet. Peak of Sword Dao. A black Chaos Stone Tablet. Long Ao looked at the Chaos Stone Tablet floating in front of him with a solemn expression. The Chaos Stone Tablet on the front was emitting waves of sword chi. It was very terrifying. Peak of Sword Dao. It was hard to imagine how powerful the Chaos Stone Tablet was. Long Ao, can you sense anything? Long Ao didn't say anything. Seeing Long Ao's solemn expression, Xiling didn't continue asking. Long Ao wanted to see how the divine mathematician did it. He didn't have much hope. At this moment, Long Ao's expression changed. Long Ao, what's wrong? Follow me. Before Xiling could react, Long Ao had already pulled Xiling and disappeared without a trace. Just as the two of them left, the divine mathematician's figure suddenly appeared. He seemed to be very surprised because the divine mathematician never thought that the two of them would suddenly leave. Even he couldn't sense their auras and where they went. The divine mathematician's expression was very ugly. Should I kill him or not? Until now, the divine mathematician couldn't make up his mind because his intuition told him that if he really killed Long Ao, it was very likely that this plan would fail. He had prepared for countless years for this moment. No matter what, he couldn't choose to give up. I can't give up. After thinking about it, in the end, Master God Diviner decided not to make a move. In fact, Master Clairvoyant couldn't calculate Long Ao's fate. But based on what had happened to Long Ao, Master Clairvoyant was sure that Longao was a variable. Within the Primal Chaos Palace. Longao, what is this place? Looking at the space around her, Xiling was completely shocked. She had already sensed that this space was very strange. Even she couldn't leave this place. If Longao was an enemy, wouldn't he be able to seal her forever? Not only that, Xiling was certain that even if he refined the Chaos Stone Tablet and became the ruler of the universe, he still wouldn't be able to leave this space. Xiling, this is a palace that I obtained by accident. As for its origin, I don't know. Xiling did not have the slightest doubt because she knew very well that Longao would not lie to her. The power of this starry sky divine artifact was a bit too terrifying. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he would have found it hard to believe. Xiling, there is indeed a problem with your sword intent Chaos Stone Tablet. I'll tell you about it later. Her heart was filled with joy. Xiling naturally knew what Longao meant. Could it be that Longao could help her refine the Chaos Stone Tablet? Xiling, let me tell you something. Back then, I obtained this palace by accident, and I also obtained a Chaos Stone Tablet, a non-elemental Chaos Stone Tablet. A non-elemental Chaos Stone Tablet? What did that mean? Xiling was very curious because she didn't know what Longao meant. Everyone, including the 12 of them, knew very well that in the vast universe, there were 12 Chaos Stone Tablets. Every Chaos Stone Tablet had its own power. The only thing they didn't have was a non-elemental Chaos Stone Tablet. What kind of Chaos Stone Tablet was this? Moreover, in the vast universe, there were 12 Chaos Stone Tablets. How could there be a 13th Chaos Stone Tablet? Not to mention seeing it, they had never even heard of it. At this time, Longao summoned the Chaos Stone Tablet from within his body. Sensing it, it was indeed a non-elemental Chaos Stone Tablet. This time, Xiling was completely stunned. Just now, she more or less didn't believe it. But now that she saw it for herself, it was indeed a non-elemental Chaos Stone Tablet. Longao, how's your refining? It's very hard to refine. As for whether or not I'll be able to become a starry sky ruler after refining it, I'm not completely sure. Within the Chaos Stone Tablet, there was also an axe. It was the Chaos Axe. Longao, it seems like you really are a variable. In all these years, I've never heard of a 13th Chaos Stone Tablet in the vast universe, and a non-elemental one at that. If this were to spread, it would definitely shock the entire universe. With regards to Xiling's worries, how could Longao not know? Because of this, the fact that he had a 13th Chaos Stone Tablet definitely couldn't be spread, especially to the Divine Mathematician. If the Divine Mathematician knew about this, he could imagine how much trouble there would be. Xiling, actually, I wasn't completely sure at first. However, I've already sensed your sword intent tablet. It's true that the Divine Mathematician did something to it. However, I have a way to get rid of the trouble inside. His heart was filled with joy. Although he had already guessed something, when it was confirmed, he couldn't help but be overjoyed. Longao, how long will it take? I don't know. However, you can't leave this place during this period of time. I need to find you to verify the tablet. He nodded. Today, Xiling had already recovered to the level of a universe master. If he could increase the speed of refining the tablet, he believed that the speed of improvement would be even greater. This way, it wouldn't take long for Xiling to recover to the level of a universe immortal and make the final push. It was impossible for Longao to destroy the power within the sword will Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. His strength was not enough. Even if he was a purple spirit, he would not be able to do so. But Longao had a way, and that was to borrow the power of his non-attributed Primal Chaos Stone Tablet to slowly destroy the power within the sword will Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. Just like that, Xiling stayed behind in the Chaos Hall to look around. As for Longao, he used all his strength to destroy the sword intent tablet's power. On the second day, Longao could move freely. Under such circumstances, he couldn't be of any help. Before this, he didn't know. However, after this incident, Longao had a feeling that his non-elemental Chaos Stone Tablet's grade was far above the sword intent tablets. In other words, his non-elemental Chaos Stone Tablet's grade was far above all the other Chaos Stone Tablets. Was this true? Longao didn't dare believe it. However, the non-elemental chaos stone tablet gave him such a feeling. Otherwise, how could it destroy the sword intent tablet's power? However, Longao didn't tell Xiling about this. He wasn't sure if his feeling was right. Chapter 22:51. Violet Spirit. It will take roughly 3 months for the energy within your sword intent chaos stone tablet to be completely destroyed. He was pleasantly surprised. I really have to thank you this time. There's no need to be so polite with me. Xiling smiled. Longao, I've already walked through this palace. It's terrifying. I'm certain that this palace's power is no less than the tablet. On this point, Longao had already sensed it. He was almost certain. If he could hide in the Chaos Palace, even the Star Ruler might not be able to locate him. This was the power of the Chaos Palace. Xiling, forget it. What's going on? Xiling was very curious. He didn't know why Longao wanted to say something but stopped. Forget it. I'll tell you later. With the Chaos Palace, at least we have a way to protect ourselves. In the future, even the Oracle might not be able to kill us. Seeing that Longao wasn't willing to say more, Xiling didn't ask any more questions. Longao, I just went to the second side palace and found a portrait. In the Chaos Palace, apart from the first and second side palaces, the other side palaces couldn't be opened. Xiling, that portrait is very strange. That's right. That portrait is very strange. Even if it was me, if I looked at it for too long, my mind would be controlled. Fortunately, I left quickly. Without waiting for Longao to speak, Xiling continued, there's also the first side palace. There's a giant blood pool. What's its use? Longao didn't hide anything from Xiling. He roughly explained the use of the blood pool. Xiling was shocked. Back then, Longmia could use the dragon seal to create a star corpse slave. It was very troublesome. I didn't think that this palace of yours could create a star corpse slave, and one with a true immortal body. It's unbelievable. Xiling also found this a little inconceivable. Why can't the other side palaces be opened? At the mention of the other side palaces, Longao was also very depressed. He shrugged helplessly. Xiling, to be honest, ever since I obtained this primal chaos palace, I can only open 2 side halls. As for the other side halls, I can't open any of them. So that was the case. Xiling didn't ask any more questions. Anyway, the stronger Longao was, the happier she would be. Xiling was sure of one thing, and that was that she and Longao were definitely friends, and not enemies. If it weren't for Longao's help, he would have been controlled by the clairvoyant in the future, and the consequences would have been unimaginable. Xiling remained in the Chaos Palace. Longao left the Chaos Palace and prepared to return to the Soaring Dragon Realm. It would take at least 3 months to destroy the power within the Sword Intent Chaos Stone Tablet. 3 months. On the way. You've been following me for so long. Come out. Longao did not feel surprised at all when he saw the 3 newcomers. They were none other than Long Ming, Yijimei, and Xian Tong. The 3 of them were the Devouring Starry Sky Ruler, the Immortal Tyrant Body Starry Sky Ruler, and the Time Starry Sky Ruler. Long Ming and Yijimei were Longao's good brothers. As for whether they were still friends, Longao didn't know. Longao didn't ask for too much. As long as he didn't become enemies with Yijimei and Long Ming, it would be a blessing in disguise. Big brother. He waved his hand. Longao smiled and said, Long Ming, you don't have to be so polite. I really can't accept you calling me big brother. If you don't mind, you can call me Brother Long. Long Ming also let out a deep sigh, because he was also very clear that ever since his primordial spirit had awakened, the relationship between him and Longao had completely changed. It had changed very strangely, and although the 2 of them did not want to do so, they had no choice. Brother Long, we came to find you this time because we need your help. Please speak. Longao was very curious. He didn't know why the 3 of them had suddenly come to find him. No matter what, the difference in status between him and the 3 of them was too great. What could the 3 of them ask of him? It couldn't be that they wanted him to destroy the power of the Chaos Tablet in their hands. After all, the 3 of them didn't know. What could it be? Longao, why don't we find a place? Okay. The four of them came to a place and sat around a stone table. "What do you want from me?" Longao went straight to the point. He didn't like to dilly-dally. Ijime nodded and said, "Brother Long, I believe you already know about the matter between us and the clairvoyant master. The clairvoyant master has already taken control of our chaos tablet. If nothing unexpected happens, the clairvoyant master will definitely act against us in the future. What do you think?" This matter didn't seem to have anything to do with him. Even though they were friends, Longao knew that he couldn't do anything. Otherwise, this matter would definitely be leaked. At that time, he would be in big trouble. Therefore, no matter what happened, he wouldn't help the three of them. This matter was very important. If he made one wrong move, he was afraid that everything would go wrong. At that time, not only him, but the entire Soaring Dragon Empire would be in big trouble. "Longao, the clairvoyant master has been very good to you. According to our guess, the clairvoyant master wouldn't do this for no reason. The most likely possibility is that the clairvoyant master has already calculated something. You are a variable. Therefore, the three of us hope that you can stand by our side in the future. Brother Long, our relationship is very good." Ijime's attitude changed. Ijime and Long Ming were completely different. However, Long Ao didn't have the slightest bit of resentment. No matter what, Ijime was still the ruler of Starry Sky. He couldn't go back to the past. At this time, Xin Tong continued, "Long Ao, the clairvoyant master can even plot against us. He will definitely plot against you in the future. Therefore, you should stand by our side. We will think of a way to refine the Chaos Tablet. At that time, as long as we become the rulers of Starry Sky again, we won't have to worry about the clairvoyant master." Long Ao almost understood the meaning of the three people very clearly. Long Ao smiled. "The three of you think too highly of me. Even if I, Long Ao, have extraordinary talent, the most I can do is become a Starry Sky immortal in the future. However, you are all high and mighty rulers of Starry Sky. Do you need my help?" Without waiting for the three to speak, Long Ao continued, "We used to be friends and brothers, but I know that our relationship has changed. Including me and Long Ming, we can't go back to the past. I don't have any other request. As long as we are not enemies, it's fine. I can also tell all of you that although I, Long Ao, can't fight against a ruler of Starry Sky, I don't want to be a pawn of any ruler. If you still care about our old friendship, don't force me." Chapter 2252. Long Ao had had enough. If it were other rulers of the Starry Sky, he would have let it go. But it just had to be these three. Although he knew that their relationship with him must have changed because they had awakened their primordial spirits, he still hoped that they could continue to be friends. Xin Tong was one thing. However, Long Ao treated the other two as his brothers in his heart, especially Long Ming. And the result? The three of them only treated him as a chess piece that could be trampled on, a chess piece that could be used at will. Long Ao completely exploded. He didn't care whether the three of them were rulers of the Starry Sky or not. Anyway, things had already come to this point. He didn't want to say anything more, even if it meant completely falling out with them. "Goodbye." Just as Long Ao was about to leave, he suddenly said, "The three of you, I'm not interested in the feud between you and the clairvoyant." Just like that, looking at the gradually disappearing figure, the three of them became more and more gloomy. Did we go a little too far? Long Ming and Ji of Plum Blossom sighed deeply. Even though they missed their previous friendship, their statuses were completely different now. They were completely different. This is a serious matter. If Long Ao doesn't want to help, there's only one outcome for us, which is to be completely controlled by the clairvoyant. Are you willing to see such an outcome? Jimei and Long Ming were completely silent. Long Ao had already said that. If they still insisted, wouldn't they completely fall out with Long Ao? It wasn't that they were afraid of Long Ao, but that they still had a trace of old friendship. One was their life, and the other was their old friendship. How should they choose? Xin Tong, what should we do now? Continue to look for Long Ao. Whether he's willing or not, we need his help. Even if they didn't want to continue, the two of them could only nod and agree. Long Ao, who left, was very angry and helpless in his heart. Who did he offend? Why was everyone looking for trouble with him? Without strength, he was the same no matter where he went. He was at the mercy of others. Strength, strength, strength. His cultivation had just broken into the titled World King realm, and there was still a long way to go before he could reach the peak. But Longao was well aware that even if his cultivation reached the Starry Sky Immortal realm, he still wouldn't have the chance to speak in front of the Starry Sky ruler. There was only one way. That was to refine his own primal chaos stone tablet. At that time, once he became the ruler of the universe, he would no longer be a chess piece, but a chess player. Although his cultivation speed was already very fast, it was still too slow in the vast starry sky. Within the primal chaos palace, Longao told Xiling everything that had happened. Xiling felt helpless. Longao, it's not just you. Even I am a pawn of Master God Diviner. It was all because of Master God Diviner that the 11 of us were able to enter the cycle of reincarnation. Who could have guessed that one wrong move would lead to many more mistakes? One wrong step led to many wrong steps. One wrong step led to many wrong steps. Longao also had a helpless expression. He said, Master God Diviner is far too mysterious. Let alone you. I believe that if Master God Diviner wanted to scheme against anyone, no one would be able to resist. Longao admired Master God Diviner, but it wasn't because of his strength. After all, of the 12 rulers of the universe, the strongest was Dragon Annihilation, not Master God Diviner. He admired Master God Diviner because of his depth and craftiness. To be able to scheme against 11 rulers of the universe at the same time was enough to show just how terrifying Master God Diviner was. Xiling, as you said, trouble will continue to come for me in the future. Now I understand that establishing an empire was a mistake. If the other rulers of the universe want to deal with me, I won't even have the chance to resist. He was very depressed. Although he didn't want to admit it, as time passed, Longao discovered that he could indeed influence the movements of the rulers of the universe. This was because there were a total of 12 rulers of the universe that were related to him. What kind of concept was this? In the vast universe, there were only 12 rulers of the universe. Longao, counter soldiers with arms, water with an earthweir. Why think so much? You already have the 13th Chaos Tablet. Once you refine it, you can become a ruler of the universe. You might even be able to suppress Master God Diviner. Why worry? You're right. Longao scolded himself in his heart. What was he worried about? Not to mention that he already had the Chaos Tablet. Even if he didn't devour the Chaos Tablet, there was no need to worry. Anyway, he would just take one step at a time. Unknowingly, Longao returned to the Soaring Dragon realm. The Soaring Dragon Empire was now developing steadily. Longao purposely spread the news that the Soaring Dragon Empire had a Starry Sky legend and a Starry Sky immortal overseeing it. However, the identities of the two were not leaked at all. Moreover, with the two fox demons overseeing it, no one doubted it at all. The Soaring Dragon Empire instantly became powerful. Who would dare to provoke the Soaring Dragon Empire? The most oppressed one was the Heaven-Devouring Empire. After all, Longao and the Heaven-Devouring Empire had an agreement of 100 years. However, in just a few months, the Soaring Dragon Empire had a star immortal and a star legend. The Heaven-Devouring Empire knew that if the Soaring Dragon Empire wanted to make a move, they wouldn't be able to stop them. However, the Heaven-Devouring Empire was curious. Since the Soaring Dragon Empire had such a powerful existence, why didn't they make a move? Did Longao think that the Heaven-Devouring Empire was no longer qualified? It seemed ridiculous. No matter who it was, they would definitely eliminate the source of trouble. The Heaven-Devouring Empire didn't believe that Longao would let them off for no reason. The only explanation was that the Soaring Dragon Empire didn't have a star legend or star immortal. It was just a bluff by Longao. It was a vicious move. However, the Heaven-Devouring Empire was still worried. No matter what, Fox Demon and Black Mountain Old Devil were sure that there were Star Immortal and Star Legendary experts within the Soaring Dragon Empire. Could it be that the two of them were helping Longao? It was impossible. Everyone in the Heaven-Devouring Empire knew that Ling Hu Yao and the Black Mountain Old Demon had been chasing after Longao back then. The grudge between them had reached the point where they were like fire and water. It was impossible for them to help Longao and Linghu Yao. Even the heaven-devouring empire had no idea whether this was true or not. Similarly, the heaven-devouring empire wasn't sure if Longao would go against the agreement and make a move against them. After all, the universe was filled with experts. Everyone only cared about the outcome. Who would care about the process? Chapter 22:53. Soaring Dragon Empire. The first thing Longao did upon returning to the empire was to find Long Chong. Big brother, what happened? Long Chong, Long Ming, and Yi Mei were different. They were completely different. Long Chong had obtained the 5 elements primal chaos tablet, but he wasn't the ruler of the 5 elements starry sky. Long Chong, listen to me first. Longao told him everything that had happened. Big brother, what do you mean? Immediately follow me into the Primal Chaos Hall. You can stay inside and refine the 5 elements Primal Chaos tablet. No problem. Long Chong didn't have the slightest objection because he only knew one thing, and that was that his big brother would definitely not harm him. That was enough. Even now, Longao still felt some lingering fear. If the God Diviner hadn't told him about this, he would still be in the dark. If that really was the case, then whether it was Xiling or Long Chong, once the God Diviner took control of them, they would be in deep trouble. Just thinking about it made him shiver. Just thinking about it made him tremble. Fortunately, he had discovered it early. There was still time to destroy it. After all, neither Long Chong nor Xiling had truly refined the Primal Chaos Tablet. It wasn't too late. The God Diviner had never known that Longao could destroy the power he had left in the Primal Chaos Tablet. If he had known, who knew what he would have thought? Within the Primal Chaos Hall, seeing Long Chong, Xiling wasn't the slightest bit surprised. He already knew that Long Chong had obtained the 5 elements Primal Chaos Tablet. Xiling, once you completely refine the tablet and become the ruler of the starry sky, and my cultivation base has also reached the starry sky immortal realm, we can make a trip to the Martial Heaven continent. What is it? Xiling was very curious. The Dragon Valley had been completely moved to the Soaring Dragon Empire by Longao. Under such circumstances, why would Longao return to the Martial Heaven continent? Could it be because of the Oracle? As if he could guess what Xiling was thinking, Longao shook his head. I'm sure you haven't forgotten the shocking secret that Master God Diviner divined. I won't. Violet Spirit would never forget what had happened back then. It was because of that incident that they had willingly perished and entered the cycle of reincarnation. Otherwise, no one would be so stupid as to believe the words of Master God Diviner. Thinking about this, Xiling was furious. But what was done, so what if he was angry? Xiling, I've been to that place with the clairvoyant before. That place is very strange, but I can tell you for sure that the clairvoyant's divination was not wrong at all. Huh. Upon hearing this, Xiling was completely stunned. After so many years of development, not only Xiling, but everyone else also agreed that what happened back then was a lie made up by the Oracle. It was a *T opportunity. Longao, are you sure? Yes. Longao knew that this was a serious matter, so other than Xiling, he did not intend to tell anyone else. Xiling, have you thought about it? If it weren't for what happened back then, would the Oracle only control your Chaos Tablets? If it were me, I would definitely eliminate the source of the problem. When that time comes, the Oracle will be the only one in the vast universe. Why would he leave you behind? Longao, what do you mean? That's right. What I mean is simple. The Oracle wants to control your Chaos Tablets and control you. When the time comes, you will enter that mysterious place together. As for whether you will obtain the opportunity, I don't know. But the Oracle will definitely obtain it. So that was it. Longao, have you thought of a way? Yes. When the time comes, there will only be 2 ways. If we can enter alone, then we will try and see if we can obtain the opportunity. Ruthless, crazy, and crazy. Violet Spirit knew very well what Longao's words meant. If they entered alone and were discovered by the Divine Mathematician, the Divine Mathematician would definitely deal with them. It would be very troublesome. The Oracle's strength was obvious. If it were before, Xiling would not have been afraid of the Oracle. He believed that no matter who it was, they would not be afraid of the oracle. But now, the situation was completely different. Xiling was almost certain that the oracle was the strongest of the 12 astral rulers. There was no doubt about it. But if he and Longchong worked together, they should be able to defeat the oracle. But Xiling did not have the slightest bit of confidence. Xiling, if we can't do it, then we will beat them at their own game. We will enter the mysterious place with the oracle. When the time comes, you, Longchong, and I will not be under his control. We will be able to make our own decisions. How could Xiling not understand Longao's intention? Things had already come to this. If he did not fight and waited until the oracle obtained a great opportunity, he would still be dead. Instead of that, he might as well try his luck. What if he could obtain a great opportunity? Well, Longao, I have already thought about it. It may not be a good thing for Bai Ling to cultivate alone. Why don't we let Bai Ling come to the Soaring Dragon Empire? Thank you. Longao was pleasantly surprised. He had thought about this for a long time, but he was too embarrassed to mention it. But now that Xiling had spoken first, he certainly would not be polite. Give me 3 days. 3 days later, Xiling brought Bai Ling back. Longao and Bai Ling had not seen each other for months and missed each other very much. At this moment, Longao's 3 close female friends were all by his side. To him, this was the happiest thing. His parents, grandfather, lover, they were all together. However, Longao was very clear that his matters were not over yet. If he did not settle everything, one could imagine what would happen in the future. His family would not even have the most basic safety. Hence, for his family, he had to settle everything thoroughly. The matter between Longchong and Xiling, other than Longao, no one knew. Even Longao did not know. This was because Longao was very clear that this matter could not be leaked. If it was leaked, he would be in big trouble. Today, Bai Ling had already condensed her own body and her strength had greatly increased. However, according to Xiling, Bai Ling's peak was only the starry sky immortal realm. When the 2 sisters obtained the sword intent chaos stone tablet together, after some discussion, Bai Ling did not hesitate to give it to her sister. At that time, Xiling was indeed selfish. After all, to be able to devour the sword intent chaos stone tablet and become a sword intent starry sky dominator was too tempting. Xiling could not resist. Hence, driven by selfishness, Xiling finally devoured the sword intent chaos stone tablet. Chapter 2254. Xiling felt very guilty. Longao didn't say much, because no one knew whether Xiling was right or wrong. Xiling Mei, Long Ming, and Xin Tong didn't choose to give up. Instead, they entered the Soaring Dragon realm. Seeing the 3 people suddenly appear in front of him, Longao's expression became even more unsightly. The 3 of them weren't willing to give up. What did they mean? Did they really have to shed all pretense of cordiality? Unless it was absolutely necessary, Longao didn't want to shed all pretense of cordiality with the 3 of them. The reason was simple. It wasn't that Longao was afraid of the 3 of them. So what if they were rulers of the universe? With the Chaos Palace, he was invincible. Brother Long, we came to find you this time because we want to have a good talk with you. Longao's expression was extremely gloomy. The 3 of you, I've already made it very clear. I have nothing to talk about with you. Take care. I won't see you out. Eviction order. This time, Longao didn't have the slightest bit of goodwill. He felt helpless in his heart. Xin Tong was one thing. Although they had a good relationship before, it wasn't a solid one. In this world, there were no eternal enemies and no eternal friends. Only Long Ming and Xiling Mei. Longao truly treated the 2 of them as brothers. Even though they had awakened their primordial spirits, he had never thought that he would shed all pretense of cordiality with them. Xiling Mei and Xin Tong's expressions finally changed. Long Ming was still the same as before. The 2 of them were rulers of the universe. When had they ever been treated like this? If the other party was a godly mathematician, it would be fine, but he was just a mere titled realm king. So what if he was a variable? Longao, don't be so shameless. Xiling Mei's voice was cold. Even though he hadn't recovered his strength, in his opinion, it would be easy for him to kill Long Ming. As for their previous friendship, in his opinion, it was nothing but bullshit. Xiling Mei scram. Telling a ruler of the universe to scram? Long Ming and Xian Tong were completely stunned. Although they knew that Longao was very arrogant, they did not expect that Longao was arrogant to such an extent. The Starry Sky ruler was the strongest existence in the vast starry sky. Anyone who dared to tell him to scram would be courting death. Longao, you spray of plum, you've gone too far. At this moment, Long Chong and Xiling's figures suddenly appeared. One was the sword-intent Starry Sky ruler, while the other had devoured the 5 elements primal chaos stone tablet. In the future, he would definitely become the 5 elements Starry Sky ruler. All of you. Ijime, how did my elder brother treat you back then? Are you F** king human? I can clearly tell you that as a person, you must know how to be grateful. This is the cycle of karma. Spray of Plum Blossom was infuriated. As the Star Devourer ruler, Ijime had a fiery temper. Longao, I'm telling you now, if you don't agree, you'll regret it. Really? Longao smiled. Spray of Plum Blossom was probably anxious. After all the Starry Sky rulers and primal chaos stone tablets had been tampered with by the clairvoyant. If nothing unexpected happened in the future, Spray of Plum Blossom would become the clairvoyant's puppet. Of course, Spray of Plum Blossom didn't want this to happen. Xian Tong and Long Ming didn't say anything, which could be considered a tacit agreement. Spray of Plum Blossom, there's something I don't understand. Why do you have to involve me in the matter between you and the clairvoyant? With my strength, I don't seem to be qualified. This was something that Longao couldn't figure out. Since the clairvoyant can calculate that you're a variable, then the future of the 12 of us must be related to you. Longao, since we're brothers, why don't you stand on our side? I won't agree to anything. See you out. An eviction order. This was the second time Longao had ordered him to leave. Longao wouldn't agree to anything at this time, because even he didn't know what to do in the future. Moreover, he wasn't sure whether the clairvoyant was an enemy or a friend. Spray of Plum Blossom's face was extremely gloomy and ugly. He had never thought that Longao would have 2 rulers of the starry sky by his side. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he wouldn't want to fall out with them. At this moment, Xian Tong immediately stepped forward to smooth things over. He said with a smile, Longao, I don't need to say more about our friendship. I believe you should know that we didn't come to you with any bad intentions. Our intention is actually very simple. We just hope that you can stand on our side. I've already said that I'm not interested in participating in the feud between the rulers of the starry sky, and I don't want to know about it either. I'll still say the same thing. I won't help anyone, and I don't have the right to do so. I've already said everything that needs to be said. If you still don't leave, don't blame me for being ruthless. Spray of Plum Blossom and Xian Tong's expressions changed again and again. In the end, the 2 of them chose to leave. As for Long Ming, who hadn't said anything all this time, he stayed. As the ruler of the starry sky of time, Long Ming's attitude had also changed. After all, the awakening of the primordial spirit would forcibly suppress the previous memories. Brother Long, I hope that we won't become enemies in the future. I hope so. Looking at Long Ming, who was gradually leaving, Long Chong snorted coldly. He said with disdain, What an ingrate. Forget it. This matter ends here. Xiling looked worried. He said, Longao, things are definitely not that simple. You have to be careful. How could Longao not know about Xiling's worries? This time, the 3 of them had come to find him again and again. They must have sensed something. Otherwise, the 3 of them wouldn't have acted like this. Outside the soaring dragon realm, Spray of Plum Blossom said in an extremely cold voice, Longao really thinks that he's invincible in this world. Xian Tong, what do you think? Xian Tong sighed deeply and said helplessly, Longao, and I don't have any grudges. I don't want to make things too tense. Spray of Plum Blossom, there's nothing much to talk about between us. We'll think of our own ways. Before Spray of Plum Blossom could say anything, Xian Tong had already left quickly. At this time, Long Ming walked out. Long Ming, why don't you and I join forces? I'd like to see how Longao can be arrogant. However, Long Ming snorted coldly and said in a very unhappy manner, "The grudge between you and Longao? What does it have to do with me? It's really laughable. Don't bother me. Also, you're really—" Long Ming didn't continue speaking. However, the meaning of his words was very clear. His face was full of disdain and contempt. Spray of Plum Blossom looked at the two people walking away. However, he really didn't dare to enter the soaring dragon realm alone. After all, Longao had two starry sky dominators by his side. There was no need to take the risk. The loss outweighed the gain. Chapter 22:55. Longao was depressed. As things got more complicated, he was in more trouble. They were all rulers of the starry sky. Any one of them could make the entire starry sky tremble. Who did he offend? Fox Demon and Black Mountain Old Devil returned to the First Empire. The more they thought about it, the angrier they got. However, they knew that Longao was no longer the same as before. Longao had a Starry Sky Immortal and a Starry Sky Legend by his side. It was impossible for the two of them to kill Longao. What should they do? They reported the matter to the Empire, hoping to get help from the Empire. However, the result was, the Empire didn't do anything. It was clear that they didn't want to cause trouble with the Starry Sky Immortal. The Fox Demon and the Black Mountain Old Fiend were completely depressed. Jinwudi had returned to the First Empire and targeted the two of them. This was what made them depressed. In the First Empire, Jinwudi's identity and status were obviously higher than the two of them. Not only Jinwudi, but the power behind Jinwudi was also not to be underestimated. The First Empire didn't care. Although the Soaring Dragon Empire had a Starry Sky Immortal, the First Empire didn't care as long as the Soaring Dragon Empire wasn't an enemy. Longao didn't leave the Soaring Dragon realm. Instead, he focused on his cultivation. With Xiling's help, Longao successfully broke through from a titled World King to a Starry Sky World Emperor. He made great progress until he became a titled World Emperor. He was only one step away from becoming a Starry Sky World Venerable. He didn't succeed in breaking through the last step. However, Longao wasn't discouraged in the slightest. This was because he was well aware that his cultivation speed was already very fast. He had broken through 2 realms in a row. If he were to cultivate normally, who knew how long it would take for him to break through from titled World King to titled World Emperor? Longao, your cultivation level is rising too fast. What you need to do now is to stabilize your cultivation level. Don't continue to break through. Otherwise, you will be devoured by your power. The consequences will be unimaginable. Regarding Xiling's meaning, how could Longao not know? His cultivation speed was simply too fast. Standing quietly in the chaos, Longao looked around. Longchong and Xiling's Chaos Stone Tablets were receiving the power of destruction. As for Xiling and Longchong, they continued to cultivate in the Chaos Hall. Arriving at the third side hall, Longao tried to open it. This was because he realized that as his strength increased, he could slowly open the side palace behind him. However, Longao helplessly discovered that he was still unable to open the third side hall. It was very depressing. He left the Primal Chaos Palace. Longao waited until his realm had completely stabilized before he chose to leave the Soaring Dragon realm alone. Even if you want Star Legend and Star Immortal to take action, you aren't qualified to do so. Hearing this, the 4 of them were completely dumbfounded. What did Longao mean? Since Longao had Star Immortals and Star Legendaries backing him, why didn't he use them? Everyone knew that the 4 of them wouldn't be a match for Longao's Star Legendaries and Star Legendaries. No one in the Heaven-Devouring Empire was a match for them. Why would Longao be so kind? That was impossible. The 4 of you. I came alone this time to settle the grudge between us. The 4 of you can come at me together. If you win, not only will I not die, but I will also hand my life over to you. If the 4 of you lose, I'm sorry, but not only you, but the entire Soaring Dragon Empire will be destroyed. Do you understand? The 4 of them were completely stunned. The 4 of them joining forces? Why was Longao so confident? From the beginning to the end, the 4 of them had never thought that Longao would be able to break through from titled World King to titled World Emperor in just a few months. After all, Such a cultivation speed had never been seen before. Chapter 2256. In the next second, a terrifying aura erupted from Longao's body and shrouded the entire hall. Titled World Emperor? Sensing the aura from Longao's body, the four of them were completely stunned. They never thought that Longao's cultivation had already broken through to the titled World Emperor. Was this real? The four of them didn't dare to believe it. They had seen many talented people, but they had never seen someone who cultivated so quickly. It was a little too fast. How long had it been? The four of them finally knew why Longao dared to come alone. It turned out that his cultivation had already broken through to the titled World Emperor. If that was the case, they were in big trouble. If it was an ordinary titled World Emperor, Chun Shan could deal with him. No matter what, Chun Chin's cultivation had already broken through to the titled World Emperor. Only Longao. Longao himself was very mysterious. Even if he hadn't broken through to the titled World Emperor, he was still a freak, let alone now that he had broken through to the titled World Emperor. It would be a lie to say that they weren't worried. Until now, the four of them were a little regretful. Why did they provoke Longao out of nowhere and bring such a big trouble to themselves? Longao, how can we resolve our grievances? In the end, Qin Shan still chose to compromise. He didn't have the slightest confidence that he could defeat Longao. Taking a step back, even if he could defeat Longao, so what? If Soaring Dragon Empire really had a Starry Sky Legend or Starry Sky Immortal Realm expert, he and the Empire would still have a dead end. The current situation was already very disadvantageous for the Empire. They had to think of a way to resolve it. Moreover, Qin Shan knew that since Longao dared to come alone, he must have a strong backing. If they were to fight, the chances of him losing were too high. He didn't dare to take the risk. He couldn't take the risk. Qin Shan, all this time, you guys have been biting me and not the other way around. I'm a very simple person. If people respect me, I'll respect them tenfold. However, if others are despicable, I won't be merciful. The four people's faces were very gloomy, as ugly as they could be. Longao's arrogance and dominance were obvious. Moreover, Longao was a fearless madman. Back then, he was only a grade 8 Starry Sky cultivator, yet he dared to go against the heaven-devouring empire. If it was anyone else, would they dare to do the same? He definitely wouldn't dare. Before the four of them could speak, Longao continued, however, the heaven-devouring empire is no longer qualified to be my enemy. I'll give you a chance. As long as you promise me, you won't have to die. The four of them didn't say anything, which could be considered a sign of silence. My condition is very simple. Longao went to the side and sat down. It was as if he had returned to his own home. Longao, if you have something to say, just say it. He smiled. Longao was indeed arrogant. If it had been anyone else, even if they had broken through to the titled World Emperor realm, they definitely wouldn't have dared to do so. What Longao had done was clearly provoking the heaven-devouring empire. I choose to submit. Submit? The four of them didn't seem surprised at all. They guessed that Longao must have his own reasons for being so kind. It turned out that he wanted them to submit. If the heaven-devouring empire chose to submit, it would be a complete loss of face. Where would they put their face? Choose to submit? Or reject? The four of them knew very well that if they chose to submit, the heaven-devouring empire would be utterly humiliated. However, if they chose to reject, with Longao's strength, he would definitely destroy the entire heaven-devouring empire. They were unwilling to submit, but they didn't dare to reject. It could be said that they were in a dilemma. Since the two of you are here, why don't you show yourselves? The two of them? Hearing Longao's words, the four of them were curious. They didn't know what was going on with Longao because there wasn't any aura around them. There wasn't even a single person. Could it be that Longao was hallucinating? Longao, I really didn't expect you to break through to the titled World Emperor realm in just a few months. Congratulations. We really have to congratulate you. The two of them weren't strangers. They were the two Starry Sky World Masters from the First Empire, Ling Fox Demon and Black Mountain Old Devil. Although the two of them couldn't get help from the Empire, they were still worried. They didn't know if Longao would act against them. After all, Longao wasn't the same as before. Whether it was a Starry Sky immortal or a Starry Sky legend, he wasn't someone they could deal with. This time, the two of them were looking for an opportunity to eliminate Longao. No matter what happened, they had to kill him. Otherwise, they would be in big trouble in the future. As for Longao, he wasn't surprised at all. He knew what the two of them were up to. He sneered and said, "Gentlemen, it seems like it's time to settle the grudge between us." Disdain and contempt were written all over their faces. They said mockingly, "Longao, do you really think that you can fight against us just because you've broken through to the titled World Emperor realm?" The strength of a Starry Sky World Master was far above that of a titled World Emperor. This was a well-known fact. The two of them didn't believe that Longao could defeat them with his strength. It was simply impossible. The gap between the two of them was too big. They weren't even on the same level. Longao didn't care. He said with a smile, "Gentlemen, no one knows who's stronger and who's weaker. I'll settle the score with you later. As for now, Qin, I'll ask you one last time. Do you choose to submit or be destroyed?" Qin was also in a dilemma. He knew very well that even if he had chosen to submit to the First Empire, the First Empire might not help him if something happened. He was just cannon fodder for the First Empire. "Longao, we've already chosen to submit to the First Empire. If you dare to act recklessly, I believe the First Empire won't let you off." Qin was definitely unwilling to submit. Previously, submitting to the First Empire was already a very shameful thing. If he submitted to Longao again, he might as well kill himself. Left with no choice, Qin could only choose to use the First Empire to suppress Longao, hoping that Longao would back off. The two of them didn't speak. The First Empire's strength was obvious. Unless Longao was crazy, he definitely wouldn't dare to provoke the First Empire. This was a must. However, what was the result? If it were anyone else, they definitely wouldn't dare to provoke the First Empire. No matter what, the First Empire was the strongest Starry Sky Empire in the vast Starry Sky. However, Longao didn't care about the First Empire at all. If he didn't provoke the number one empire, the number one empire wouldn't provoke him either. They would mind their own business. If the number one empire came looking for trouble, Longao wouldn't be polite at all. He would deal with whatever came his way and kill them all. Chapter 2257. Regarding Qin's meaning, Longao knew it clearly. "Qin, are you trying to use the number one empire to suppress me?" Qin did not reply, but his meaning was clear. "I can tell you clearly that even if all 9 empires were to gather, no one would be able to protect the heaven-devouring empire, let alone the number one empire. Since you're not willing to submit, then I'm sorry." Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Hearing Longao's words, Linghu Yao and Black Mountain Old Demon burst out laughing. In the vast universe, the 9 empires ruled supreme. 9 great Starry Sky empires. Any random Starry Sky empire could easily destroy the Soaring Dragon Empire. The two of them really couldn't figure out what gave Longao such courage. "Black Mountain Old Demon, I'll leave it to you." Linghu Yao's cultivation state had already recovered to that of a titled world ancestor. How could he strike out casually? Until now, Qin and the other 3 did not know that Linghu Yao was a reincarnated body of a Star World legend. Black Mountain Old Demon nodded his head. The strength of a Star World Master was not to be underestimated. He walked towards Longao step by step. And the result? Before Black Mountain Old Demon could get close, Longao clenched his fists tightly. The space around Black Mountain Old Demon started to crack, and the cracks started to compress. Black Mountain Old Demon was completely stunned. If it were the previous Longao, even if he had star control, it would be impossible for him to fight against a Star World Master. After all, the difference between the two of them was simply too great. But right now, the situation was completely different. Longao's cultivation state had already broken through from titled World King to titled World Emperor. This was an increase of 2 whole levels. Longao's star control had increased tremendously as well. If Black Mountain Old Demon were to give it his all, he would definitely be able to fight against Longao. But right from the start, Black Mountain Old Demon did not take Longao seriously at all. Under such circumstances, it was obvious what would happen. In just an instant, Black Mountain Old Demon's tragic cry rang out. Before the five of them could react, his body was swallowed up by the terrifying cracks in the starry skies. Under the compression of the cracks, Black Mountain Old Demon did not even have a chance to fight back. Black Mountain Old Demon was killed in a single move? Was this for real? If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not believe it. The Black Mountain Old Devil was a genuine starry sky world venerate, while Longao was only a titled world emperor. Under normal circumstances, with Longao's strength, it was impossible for him to be a match for the Black Mountain Old Devil. Let's not talk about the Fox Demon for now. Just Qin Shan and the other three, each and every one of them was in complete despair. Sure enough, as they had guessed, following Longao's forceful breakthrough in strength, he could already sweep away all the powerhouses of the same level. Even if he were to kill enemies of a higher level, it would be a matter of minutes. If that was the case, no one in the heaven-devouring empire would be a match for Longao. But at this moment, the four of them could clearly sense that Ling Hu Yao's aura came from Starry Sky Ancestor. Could Black Mountain Old Demon be Starry Sky Ancestor? Longao, you've really surprised me. To think that you could kill the Black Mountain Old Demon in an instant. However, it doesn't matter. In my eyes, you're still an ant that can be slaughtered by anyone. If I want to kill you, it's easier than killing an ant. Black Mountain Old Demon was full of confidence. Black Mountain Old Demon had recovered to Starry Sky Ancestor. Unless it was a Universe Almighty, Universe Legend, or Universe Immortal, no one would be his match. Sensing the powerful aura released by Black Mountain Old Demon, the four of them heaved a sigh of relief. If Black Mountain Old Demon could kill Longao, it would be considered as eliminating the source of trouble for the Empire. Longao was still nonchalant. He smiled and said, Black Mountain Old Demon, if you're willing to submit to the Soaring Dragon Empire, I'll consider it. Isn't Longao too reckless? He wants to subdue Black Mountain Old Demon? Is he out of his mind? Qin Shun, Chun Tung, and the other two laughed. Their laughter was very mocking. Longao, aren't you a little too arrogant? Longao did not care at all. He chose to ignore the four people's laughter. Instead, he stared at Ling Hu Yao in front of him and said indifferently, Ling Hu Yao, you only have one chance. Just when Black Mountain Old Demon was about to say something, his expression changed. He nodded and said, we can talk. Black Mountain Old Demon looked at the four of them and said coldly, the four of you, leave first. Without my order, no one is allowed to enter. Remember, if I sense anyone, don't blame me for being merciless. The four of them were dumbfounded when they saw the 180-degree change in Black Mountain Old Demon's attitude. They didn't know what was going on, but they were obviously afraid of Black Mountain Old Demon. They could only choose to leave.
Yes.
The four of them quietly retreated. After a short while, only Longao and Ling Hu Yao were left in the entire hall. Longao, what do I get from following you? What can you give me? As long as I continue to awaken, I can recover to the legend realm of the Starry Sky. Even if I can't reach the Starry Sky Immortal realm, I will still be standing at the peak of the Starry Sky. What do you think you have that can tempt me? Black Mountain Old Demon was very curious because Longao had told him that he had something that could tempt Black Mountain Old Demon. Because of this, Black Mountain Old Demon chose to stay. He wanted to hear what Longao had to tempt him. Longao didn't say anything. Instead, he summoned Xiling from the Chaos Palace. Who are you? Black Mountain Old Demon was very curious. He didn't know who the girl beside Longao was. However, Black Mountain Old Demon was afraid of her because he couldn't sense her true strength no matter how hard he tried. If he had recovered to his peak, Black Mountain Old Demon wouldn't be afraid of anyone unless the Starry Sky Immortal Realm came. However, the situation was completely different now. He had just recovered to the titled Universe Ancestor Realm. If he encountered an expert above the Starry Sky Immortal Realm, he wouldn't even have a chance to fight back. The girl beside Longao couldn't be an expert above the Starry Sky Immortal Realm. If that was the case, he would be in big trouble. At that time, he might not even be able to leave alive, let alone kill Longao. Longao knew what Black Mountain Old Demon was thinking. He said, "Black Mountain Old Demon, do you know about the legend of the 12 rulers of the starry sky?" He became even more curious. Linghu Yao didn't know why Longao had suddenly mentioned the 12 rulers of the vast starry sky. As for the legend of the 12 rulers of the vast starry sky, he believed that every starry sky cultivator knew about the legends of the 12 rulers of the starry sky. Chapter 2258. He was very curious. Linghu Demon couldn't figure out why Longao suddenly mentioned the 12 dominators of the starry sky. From beginning to end, the fox demon had never imagined that the girl by Longao's side would be a ruler of the stars. Everyone knew. The 12 dominators of the starry sky had all died. It was no secret in the vast starry sky. Longao smiled. He looked mysterious. The more Longao behaved like this, the more Linghu Demon felt unsure. He always felt that Longao was not simple. There was only one possibility for him to be so calm, and that was that Longao was fearless and didn't care about him at all. If that was the case, did he really fail miserably this time? Longao, what are you smiling about? Linghu Demon, do you know who she is? I don't. What does her identity have to do with me? Linghu Demon was very depressed. He didn't know what Longao meant, because he could sense that the girl beside Longao was not weak. Even so, what could he do? At worst, he would leave. Revenge was a dish best served cold. Linghu Demon was a legend of the starry sky. With enough time, he could set foot on the legend of the starry sky again. If that was the case, Longao was not qualified at all in Linghu Demon's eyes. A legend of the starry sky was almost at the peak of martial arts. As for the 12 dominators of the starry sky, they were all dead. In the vast starry sky, except for Longao and a few people, no one knew that the 12 dominators of the starry sky had all awakened, especially the marvelous mathematician who had recovered to the dominator of the starry sky. Longao, what do you mean? Just say it. Linghu Demon was a little impatient. They were clearly enemies, but now he was acting as if he and Longao were friends. Linghu Demon, if I told you that the girl beside me is a dominator of the starry sky, would you believe me? Get lost. No, of course not. Nonsense. If this person was the starry sky ruler, and she was the starry sky ruler, there was no way the fox demon would believe that the girl next to Longao was the legendary starry sky ruler. The 12 galaxy rulers had all perished. Even if Longao wanted to trick him, he shouldn't have used galaxy rulers. That was too low level. Longao was not surprised at all. It would be strange if the fox demon chose to believe him. He didn't say anything else. Facts speak louder than words. The more he spoke, the more mistakes he would make. Xiling, who was standing at the side, suddenly released a terrifying aura that enveloped the fox demon. His face was full of disdain and disbelief, but when he sensed Xiling's aura, he was completely stunned. Others might not be able to sense anything, but it was impossible for the fox demon not to sense it. As a star legend, the fox demon naturally knew what this aura meant. It was the aura of the starry sky ruler. Was this person really the ruler of the starry sky? In the vast starry sky, there were 12 astral sovereigns, the 5 elements astral sovereigns, the devouring astral sovereigns, the lightning astral sovereigns, the space astral sovereigns, the time astral sovereigns, the destruction astral sovereigns, the reincarnation astral sovereigns, the massacre astral sovereigns, the divination astral sovereigns, the sword will astral sovereigns, the immortal tyrant body astral sovereigns, and the darkness astral sovereigns. And the girl beside Longao, who was the ruler of the stars. He was completely stunned. He was a bit dumbfounded, because he had never imagined that the girl next to Longao really was the ruler of the stars. If he hadn't personally sensed her aura, he wouldn't have believed it even if he was beaten to death. Now that he thought about it, he shivered in fear. If this man had attacked him just now, he would have died without even realizing it. Acting so presumptuously in front of the astral ruler was suicidal. Longao seemed to be able to guess what Linghu Yao was thinking. He smiled and said, "This is one of the 12 rulers of the starry sky. Linghu Yao, don't think that just because you're a legend of the starry sky, you can do whatever you want. I can tell you clearly that if I wanted to kill you, it would be almost effortless." Longao was indeed bluffing. Given his strength, there was no way he could kill Linghu Demon. Even if Xiling could, he wouldn't dare to do it casually. It was better to be safe than sorry. If there was a mishap, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, the Linghu Demon had really been fooled, because he didn't know what the Sword and Tint Starry Sky situation was. In the Linghu Demon's opinion, the Sword and Tint Starry Sky's ruler could kill him in a matter of minutes. Even if he was at his peak and recovered to the Star Legend level, he wouldn't be able to contend against the Star Dominator, let alone now. In the end, he was nothing in front of the Star Dominator. Longao, what do you want? Linghu Demon's face was very serious as he asked word by word. It's very simple. I need your help. In return, when your cultivation recovers to the Star Legend level, I will ask the Star Dominator to help you break through to the Star Immortal level. What do you think? Such a condition was very tempting, because Linghu Demon knew very well that he wouldn't be able to break through to the Star Immortal level in his lifetime by relying on his talent and hard work. If he could use external help to break through to the Star Immortal level, it would be a very good thing. The temptation was too great for Linghu Demon to refuse. If Longao had said it himself, Linghu Demon wouldn't have believed him. But now, the situation was completely different. Longao had a Star Dominator by his side. It shouldn't be difficult for a Star Dominator to help him break through to the Star Immortal level. What others couldn't do didn't mean the Star Dominator couldn't. In the vast starry sky, the 12 rulers of starry sky were invincible existences. They were also the strongest existences. Because of this, Ling Fox Demon had never doubted Longao's words. In his opinion, as long as the ruler of starry sky was willing to help, he could become a starry sky immortal in the future. Linghu Demon was only afraid. If he really agreed to join the Soaring Dragon Empire, how would he explain it to the First Empire? Although he was a star legend, he couldn't ignore the First Empire's power. No matter what, the First Empire's strength was obvious. It was almost impossible to go against the First Empire. Ling Fox Demon knew his own limits. Others might not know, but he knew very well that there was a starry sky immortal guarding the First Empire. Was he a match for a Star Immortal level expert? Linghu Demon, what do you think? Longao didn't want to kill Linghu Demon because he knew that the Soaring Dragon Empire needed a powerhouse. Chapter 2259. Longao, can you fight against the First Empire? Hearing Linghu Yao's words, Longao instantly understood what the other party meant. Even if Linghu Yao was so powerful, he was still alone and could not fight against the entire First Empire. There were countless starry sky empires in the vast starry sky. Only the 9 starry sky empires were the true strongest in the vast starry sky, especially the First Empire, which could be said to be the strongest force in the vast starry sky. Without asking or guessing, Longao was almost certain that there must be a starry sky immortal in the First Empire. There was no doubt about this. Linghu Yao's worry was understandable. If it were him, he would definitely have such concerns. After thinking for a while, Longao's expression became extremely serious. Linghu Yao, I know what you are worried about, but I can tell you clearly that since you have chosen to join the Soaring Dragon Empire, no matter what trouble you encounter in the future, we will advance and retreat together. Advance and retreat together? Linghu Yao was a little absent-minded because for so many years, he had yearned to advance and retreat together. But in the vast starry sky, would such a thing happen? If the First Empire wanted to deal with him in the future, would Longao stand up and help him? Definitely not. As if he could guess what Linghu Yao was thinking, Longao did not care at all and said, "It's up to you to believe it or not." Before Linghu Yao could speak, Longao continued, "Linghu Yao, I will give you one last chance. Are you willing to join my empire?" Could he refuse? If there was no dominator of the starry sky, Linghu Yao would definitely not choose to surrender. But the problem now was that the girl next to Longao was one of the 12 dominators of the starry sky, the dominator of the starry sky. It was very depressing. If he had known this, he would not have come this time. He went for wool and came back shorn. Not only did he fail to kill Longao, but he was also in a dilemma. Xiling, he doesn't want to. Xiling's face suddenly turned cold and the aura that erupted from his body once again suppressed Ling Hu Yao. Wait. In the end, Ling Hu Yao chose to compromise because he knew very well that his strength could not compete with the dominator of the starry sky. If he did not choose to surrender, he would die. Longao, I hope you keep your word. Hearing that the fox demon had chosen to compromise, Longao was overjoyed. Now that Ling Hu Yao had recovered to the level of a starry sky world ancestor, there was no doubt that he could become a starry sky legend if he continued to awaken. The legend of the starry sky would be of great help to his empire. 10 minutes later, Qin Shun and the other three returned to the main hall. They were very curious about what Longao and Ling Hu Yao had talked about. The four of them looked at Ling Fox Yao. As long as Ling Fox Yao killed Longao, everything would be resolved. Brother Ling Hu, shut up. Before Qin Shun could finish speaking, Ling Hu Yao's cold voice sounded. Until now, the four of them did not know that Ling Hu Yao had already joined the Soaring Dragon Empire. The four of you, I will ask you one last time. Are you willing to surrender to the Soaring Dragon Empire? The four of them kept looking at Ling Hu Yao because they were all waiting for Ling Hu Yao's decision. If Ling Hu Yao killed Longao, then they could escape this disaster. If Ling Hu Yao chose to leave, then they had no choice but to fight to the death with Longao or surrender. What would Ling Hu Yao choose? Under normal circumstances, Ling Hu Yao and Longao had a grudge against each other. If nothing unexpected happened, Ling Hu Yao would definitely deal with Longao. But just now, the two of them had chosen to be alone. Until now, the four of them still did not know what had happened between the two of them. Brother Ling Hu, sorry to trouble you. Ling Hu Yao turned around and looked coldly at the four people in front of him. With a flash, he disappeared. Before the four of them could react, Ling Hu Yao was already in front of them. He gave each of them a vicious slap on the face. The four of them were completely stunned. What happened to Ling Hu Yao? What was going on? Ling Hu Yao, you surrender or die. Ling Hu Yao's voice was cold, and his body was filled with killing intent. The four of them could clearly feel that if they made the slightest movement, they would definitely be killed by Ling Hu Yao. Ling Hu Yao's actions had completely confused the four of them. Weren't Ling Hu Yao and Longao mortal enemies? The four of them couldn't figure it out. The two of them were clearly enemies. Why did the fox demon want to help Longao out of nowhere? What exactly had happened? The four of them were dumbfounded, not knowing what had happened. Surrender or die? Ling Hu Yao asked coldly again. He seemed to be getting impatient. Since he had chosen Longao, he would not be disloyal, especially at a time like this. Therefore, Ling Hu Yao had already decided that if the four of them dilly-dallied, he would immediately destroy the heaven-devouring empire. It would be his first gift to Longao. The four of them had already understood what had happened. Although they were shocked, the truth was the truth, and it could not be changed. Imperial Father, Chen Tong was completely flustered. He did not want to die, and the empire could not be destroyed. In the end, other than being afraid of death, Chen Tong's ambition was even greater. His ambition was not limited to today's achievements, but to become an existence like the 9 great empires in the vast universe. How could Qin Shun not know what his son was thinking? Since things had already come to this point, there was nothing he could do. He could only nod helplessly and say, I'm willing to surrender. Longao, what do you have in mind? This was the most important thing. Chun Xin did not know whether Longao wanted to completely destroy the heaven-devouring empire and merge them into the Soaring Dragon Empire, or keep the heaven-devouring empire as a vassal of the Soaring Dragon Empire. Chen Shun and Chen Teng naturally wanted to keep the heaven-devouring empire because they did not want to become Longao's prisoners. After dealing with the four of them, Ling Hu Yao did not say anything else. He stood by the side, and the four of them became even more curious. They did not know how Longao did it. Why did Ling Hu Yao seem to have changed into a different person in just a few minutes? They could not figure it out. However, since things had already come to this, even if they could not figure it out, they could only choose to surrender. Otherwise, the heaven-devouring empire would be destroyed. No one was willing to die. Furthermore, the heaven-devouring empire was the blood and sweat of countless people. They could not allow it to be destroyed in their hands. What if Longao chose to destroy the name of the heaven-devouring empire and take over the heaven-devouring empire? Could it be that they would have to endure it as well? The two of them were nervous, not knowing what Longao would choose. Chapter 2260. Chun Chun, Chun Tong, don't worry. The heaven-devouring empire won't be swallowed up. You're just a subsidiary of the soaring dragon empire. Hearing Long Ao's words, the two heaved a sigh of relief. If that was the case, the heaven-devouring empire still had a chance to turn things around. How could Long Ao not know what the two of them were thinking? However, Long Ao no longer placed anyone in the heaven-devouring empire in his eyes. With his current strength, he didn't even need any external help to destroy the heaven-devouring empire. That was right. No matter what the two of them were thinking, Long Ao didn't care at all. Strength determined everything. Right at this moment, Ling Hu Yao said solemnly, Long Ao, forgive me for being blunt, but the heaven-devouring empire and I have chosen to follow you. If the number one empire finds out about this, you'll be in big trouble. Nodding his head, Long Ao was also wary of the number one empire. As the strongest empire in the universe, the number one empire's strength was clear for all to see. Even if he had his own star immortal realm in the future, he wouldn't be able to go against the number one empire. Unless Zi-Ling could regain her status as a starry sky ruler, and Long Chong could successfully refine the Chaos Stone Tablet and become a starry sky ruler, then the soaring dragon empire would be able to sweep across the vast universe, and no one would dare to provoke them. Long Ao was confident that with Zi-Ling and Long Chong in the soaring dragon empire, even the other star dominators wouldn't dare to provoke the soaring dragon empire. Long Ao knew what it meant to have two star dominators working together. We'll take it one step at a time. Ling Hu Yao, you only have one mission now, and that is to recover your strength as soon as possible. Once you've recovered to the Star Legend realm, I'll help you break through the bottleneck and become a Star Immortal. Star Legend? Ling Hu Yao was a Star Legend? Was this for real? The four of them were extremely shocked because they knew what it meant to be a Star Legend. So Ling Hu Yao was the reincarnation of an expert. However, after hearing Long Ao's words, the four of them became even more shocked. They finally understood why the Fox Demon would suddenly choose to help Long Ao and deal with the four of them. It turned out that he wanted to break through to a higher realm, which was the legendary Starry Sky Immortal Realm. Could Long Ao do it? What a joke. If Long Ao could really do it, why didn't he help him break through to the Starry Sky Immortal Realm? Regardless of whether Ling Hu Yao believed it or not, the four of them definitely did not believe it. However, since things had already come to this, even if the four of them were extremely displeased, they could only keep their mouths shut. When the time was right, he would make a comeback. As the saying goes, where there's life, there's hope. Ling Hu Yao, come with me. Looking at the five people's departing figures, the four people's expressions became more and more unsightly. Long Ao did not put the four of them in his eyes at all. In other words, the four of them were not qualified at all. Anger? Definitely angry. Father, I have a feeling in my heart that it will be very difficult for us to make a comeback. Chun Tong felt helpless because Long Ao's cultivation speed was too terrifying. Moreover, the Soaring Dragon Empire had Starry Sky Legend and Starry Sky Immortal Realm experts. It was almost impossible for him to make a comeback, especially to kill Long Ao. Chun Xin also nodded in agreement and said helplessly, in less than 100 years, Long Ao will lead the Soaring Dragon Empire and be able to look down on the 9 great Starry Sky Empires. At that time, we might be able to rise with the Soaring Dragon Empire. Rise? Rise or be destroyed? No one knew. Because Long Ao's development speed was so fast, he would definitely go against the 9 great Starry Sky Empires in the future. No matter what, the 9 great Starry Sky Empires' strength was there. It was really difficult for Long Ao to go against the 9 great Starry Sky Empires. If it was someone else, they would definitely not be able to do it. Only Long Ao was a variable. As soon as they left the main hall, Long Ao brought Ling Hu Yao into the Chaos Palace. Looking around the palace, Ling Hu Yao was completely stunned because he realized that it was almost impossible for him to leave the palace. What was going on? Long Ao, what is this place? Ling Hu Yao was very worried. Even if he was confident that Long Ao would not be his opponent with his strength, If Longao sealed him here, wouldn't he suffer a double loss? My starry sky divine weapon. At this moment, Ling Hu Yao saw Xiling, the sword-intent starry sky dominator, and immediately became respectful because he knew that whether he could break through to the starry sky immortal realm in the future would depend entirely on this sword-intent starry sky dominator. Ling Hu Yao, let me introduce you. This is the 5 elements starry sky dominator. Long Chong immediately unleashed his own 5 elements chi. When he sensed it, the fox demon was completely stunned. Another dominator of the stars? Is this for real? Unbelievable, unbelievable. Ling Hu Yao could not figure out why there were 2 starry sky dominators by Long Ao's side at the same time. Looking at the scene in front of him, he was shocked to find that the 3 seemed to be on good terms. Who exactly was Long Ao? His intuition told him that ordinary people could not be friends with starry sky dominators. The difference in status made these starry sky dominators superior. The only explanation was that Long Ao was not an ordinary person, but a legendary starry sky dominator. Could Long Ao really be the reincarnation of a starry sky dominator? If that was the case, he had made the right choice. Even now, Ling Hu Yao was still a little scared. If he had not agreed just now, wouldn't he have died? Looking at the 2 starry sky dominators, Ling Hu Yao's attitude took a 180-degree turn. Ling Hu Yao, you don't have to worry about anything else. I can tell you now that in the future, my Soaring Dragon Empire will replace the first empire and become the most powerful starry sky empire in the vast universe. If Long Ao had dared to say such a thing in the past, Ling Hu Yao would have snorted disdainfully. But now, the situation was completely different. Long Ao had 2 starry sky dominators by his side, not to mention replacing the first starry sky empire. Even dominating the vast universe would be a matter of minutes. Long Ao did not say much, and Ling Hu Yao did not ask any more questions. This was because Ling Hu Yao knew very well what to ask and what not to ask. Long Ao, can you help me ask the starry sky dominator how my cultivation can recover to the starry sky legend level? Ling Hu Yao was very clear about his situation. Of course, he knew when he could recover to the starry sky legend level. He only hoped that the 2 starry sky dominators could help him recover his cultivation faster. That way, he could break through to the starry sky immortal level sooner. Chapter 2261. Regarding Ling Hu Yao's meaning, how could Long Ao not know? Ling Hu Yao, I can answer your question right now. Ling Hu Yao was fully focused because he knew that the 2 rulers of stars were his only hope. Whether he could break through to the starry sky immortal realm depended on the 2 rulers of stars. I'm afraid you're the only one who knows when you'll be able to break through to the starry sky immortal realm. Even if you have the help of the 2 rulers of stars, it'll be useless if you can't do it. What do you think? Yes. Ling Hu Yao smiled awkwardly. Ling Hu Yao knew that Long Ao wasn't wrong. He had to rely on himself. Long Ao had brought Ling Hu Yao into the Chaos Palace because he thought highly of him. Long Ao could sense that Ling Hu Yao wasn't a simple person. In fact, anyone who could become a starry sky legend or starry sky immortal wasn't simple. Whether it was a starry sky legend or starry sky immortal realm, they could become a starry sky ruler with their talent. Unfortunately, starry sky legends and starry sky immortals weren't lucky. There were only 12 Chaos Stone tablets in the entire universe. Devouring Sky Plane. The news of Devouring Sky Empire submitting to Soaring Dragon Empire had spread throughout the entire empire and the universe. Under normal circumstances, Devouring Sky Empire submitting to another Starry Sky Empire wasn't a big deal. After all, it was common for a Starry Sky Empire to submit to another Starry Sky Empire. But now, the outcome was different. Everyone knew that Devouring Sky Empire had submitted to Number 1 Empire, which meant that they were now part of Number 1 Empire. What would it mean if they submitted to Soaring Dragon Empire? Long Ao was challenging Number 1 Empire? Did Devouring Sky Empire have a death wish? Everyone was certain that if news of this were to spread back to the First Empire, it would definitely incur the wrath of the First Empire. When that time comes, one could imagine the consequences. They had seen arrogant people, but not to this extent. Long Ao dared to challenge Number 1 Empire. Rumor had it that Soaring Dragon Empire had a Starry Sky Legend and Starry Sky Immortal Realm. Did that mean that Longao could ignore number 1 Empire? Let's not talk about whether there were Starry Sky Legends and Starry Sky Immortals in the Soaring Dragon Empire. Even if there were Starry Sky Legends and Starry Sky Immortals in the Soaring Dragon Empire, they would not be a match for the First Empire. The First Empire, as the most powerful existence in the vast universe, its strength was not to be underestimated. Everyone was looking forward to it. He was looking forward to seeing how the First Empire would react when they found out about this. Longao didn't seem to care. The Soaring Dragon Realm was still the headquarters of the Soaring Dragon Empire. After the Heaven-Devouring Empire became a subsidiary of the Empire, Longao handed everything over to his elder brother, Long Ying. Longao believed in his big brother's ability very much. Long Ying was well aware of the current situation. Even if the Heaven-Devouring Empire had chosen to submit, they weren't on their side. Since he wasn't one of their own, they had to be on guard. As the saying goes, caution is the parent of safety. Long Ying's method was very simple. It was to make an invisible change, borrowing the strength of the Heaven-Devouring Empire to quickly develop the Soaring Dragon Empire, and whether it was intentional or not, he was also changing the strength of the Heaven-Devouring Empire. In the Grand Hall, Shintung's expression changed. He knew what Long Ying meant, but what could he do? Longao was no longer the same as before. If there was any obstruction, Longao would definitely destroy the Heaven-Devouring Empire. The gains would not make up for the losses. Father, things aren't looking good. At this rate, our empire will fall in less than a year. Chen Shun also sighed deeply and said helplessly, unless a Starry Sky Legend appears in our empire, otherwise, with Longao's current strength, plus Starry Sky Legend and Starry Sky Immortal, we have no power to resist. Helplessness. Neither of them had expected the empire to fall to such a state. If they knew, they wouldn't have provoked Longao. If they didn't provoke Longao, the empire wouldn't be in such a state. Father, what should we do now? If this continued, the empire would only exist in name. At that time, not to mention Longao, any random empire could easily destroy the empire. At this moment, Che Yimin suddenly said, Brother Chun, there are a few words that I don't know if I should say. Brother Che, please speak. Che Yimin wouldn't say much under normal circumstances. Because of this, Chunting wanted to hear what Che Yimin had to say. Che Yimin smiled helplessly and said, Brother Chun, have you ever wondered why Fox Demon would choose to submit to Longao? You should know that Longao is the so-called Starry Sky Ancestor and a Starry Sky Legend expert. If nothing goes wrong, Fox Demon will definitely become a Starry Sky Legend expert in the future. Chen Tong, and even Dongfeng Hao knew this very well. They also knew that Fox Demon chose to submit to Longao because Longao could help Fox Demon break through to the Starry Sky Immortal Realm. However, the three of them chose not to believe it. If Longao could really do it, why didn't he break through himself? Why did he choose to help Linghu Yao? If they chose to believe it, they would be fools. Che Yimin seemed to be able to guess their thoughts. She sighed helplessly and said, You're all smart people, but you're very muddle-headed when it comes to this matter. You should know Fox Demon's character very well. Plus, he's a Starry Sky Legend expert. Do you think Fox Demon would choose to submit without full confidence? The three of them didn't speak as they began to think. It seemed like this matter wasn't as simple as it seemed. Under normal circumstances, Fox Demon wouldn't choose to submit. It was unbelievable. Just like what Che Yimin said, Fox Demon wouldn't believe it if they didn't believe it. In that case, Fox Demon still chose to submit. It would be a lie to say that there wasn't something fishy going on. Please speak. Although Che Yimin was a woman, she still preferred to call each other brothers. Brother Chen, according to my guess, Longao must have a way to help Fox Demon break through to the Starry Sky Immortal Realm. Although I don't want to believe it, it's a fact. Therefore, we must find a way to ease our relationship. Otherwise, we'll lose this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The three of them knew what Che Yimin meant. You should know that even if Longao can help Fox Demon, he might not help us. Chapter 2262. The four of them felt helpless. If Longao could really help them break through to a higher realm, submitting to him might not be a bad thing. However, would Longao be willing to help? Ling Hu Yao's situation was different. No matter what, she was still a star sky legend. What do you guys think? No matter what, we have to give it a try. The four of them immediately stood up and headed to the Soaring Dragon Empire. Soaring Dragon Empire. In the main hall, Longao wasn't surprised by the sudden arrival of the four of them. He seemed to have guessed it. What's the matter? Longao, we're here to talk to you about something. Qinshen and Qiantong had already decided to ignore the matter of the Soaring Dragon Empire taking over the empire. It didn't matter even if the empire was destroyed, as long as their cultivation could increase. The four of them even looked forward to reaching the Star Sky Legend or Star Sky Immortal Realm. It would be a wonderful thing. Let's hear it. Longao sat leisurely. It was still the same sentence. In the current situation, he did not put the four of them in his eyes at all. If he wanted to, he could kill the four of them in minutes. However, Longao didn't do that. The height they stood at was different, and the angle they looked at things was different. Destroying the heaven-devouring empire and killing the four of them was meaningless. He might as well subdue them. Longao, we're sincerely submitting to you. We hope that you can help us increase our strength. We'll be grateful. So it's about this. Longao had never thought that the four of them would be here for this matter. He had always thought that they were here because of his brother's influence and the power of the heaven-devouring empire. How do you know that I can help you break through? Because of brother Ling Hu. Longao instantly understood their intentions. He smiled and said, "Forgive me for not being able to help." They were indeed rejected. The four of them weren't surprised at all. They had already guessed that Longao would reject them. It would be strange if he agreed. However, the four of them didn't choose to give up. Longao, we're willing to go through fire and water for you. Go through fire and water for you. These simple words were enough to show the determination of the four people. However, Longao shook his head and said, "Forgive me for being blunt, but your talents are limited. Even if I am willing to help, you might not be able to go far." However, Ling Hu Demon is different. He is a Star Sky legend. As long as he works hard, he can reach Star Sky Immortal. So that was the case. The more this was the case, the more the four of them looked forward to it. Since Longao was able to help Ling Hu Yao break through from legend rank to immortal rank, he believed that Longao would be able to help the four of them break through to a higher realm. The four of them didn't ask for much. He only hoped that the four of them could reach the Starry Sky Realm Monarch, or even the Starry Sky Realm Ancestor. As for the so-called Universe Almighties, Universe Legends, and Universe Immortals, the four didn't even dare to think about it. Qinshen thought for a moment and finally said, "Longao, our requirements are really not high. Just do your best to help me improve." Right at this moment, Longing walked in from outside and glanced at the four of them. She walked in front of Longao and used her spiritual sense to communicate with him for a while. After hearing what she said, Longao was a little shocked. "Have you made up your mind?" Longao didn't expect that the four of them would willingly hand over the heaven-devouring empire. In other words, the heaven-devouring empire was no more. "Longao, we have made up our minds. The four of us only wish to pursue the martial path and follow you. As for the heaven-devouring empire, there is no need for it to exist anymore. Please help us." Seventh brother. "Big brother, I know what to do." Longao looked at the four of them and said with a smile, "It's not that I don't trust the four of you, but this is a matter of great importance." Speaking up to here, Longao did not continue speaking, but the meaning of his words was already very clear. The four of them weren't fools. They knew what Longao meant. After thinking for a moment, Qinshen said, "Longao, we are willing to make a blood oath." Before Longao could say anything, the four of them made the blood oath in unison. This time, the four of them were going all out. If it was before, they wouldn't have dared to do this. Once they made the blood oath, their lives would be in the hands of Longao. As long as Longao wanted to, he could kill the four of them at any time. Longao nodded with a smile and said, "Follow me." The four of them made the blood oath. The four of them followed Longao and disappeared from the hall, entering the Primal Chaos Palace. Inside the Primal Chaos Palace, The four of them looked around curiously. Could this be Longao's universal divine weapon? Previously, the four of them couldn't figure out what Longao's universal divine weapon was. But now, it seemed like it was this space. Why did Longao bring the four of them into this place? Could it be that this place could help the four of them break through? Thinking of this, the four of them became a little excited. As if he could guess what the four of them were thinking, Longao said, "Do you know why Fox Demon chose to submit to me?" Of course they knew. Chenting said, "If we guessed correctly, you should be able to help Fox Demon break through from the legend realm to the immortal realm." This was the most crucial issue. Let alone Ling Hu Yao. No matter who it was, they would agree without hesitation. Although it was only an increase of one realm, the four of them knew very well that it was almost impossible for Ling Hu Yao to break through to the Starry Sky Immortal Realm from the Starry Sky Legend Realm. No wonder Fox Demon chose to submit to Longao. However, Longao shook his head and said, "Not completely. The biggest reason for the Fox Demon is still because." At this time, Long Chong's figure appeared. The four of them were familiar with Long Chong because it was this person who almost destroyed the empire. Could it be that Fox Demon chose to submit to Longao because of this person? This was a little ridiculous. This person was at most a Starry Sky World Emperor. Not to mention Ling Hu Yao. Even the four of them could easily destroy this person. They couldn't figure it out. However, the four of them were not fools. Since Longao said so, it seemed that there was something wrong with this person. Was there something fishy? "He's my brother." We know. The four of them became more and more curious. They didn't know what Longao meant. Of course, they knew that the other party was Longao's brother. Even so, what did it mean? What did it matter if Fox Demon chose to submit to Longao? "My brother is the dominator of the five elements Starry Sky." Longao, don't joke. The four of them laughed because they didn't believe it at all. Dominator of the Starry Sky? Was it possible? Chapter 2263. Astral Dominator? There were a total of 12 astral rulers in the vast universe. Everyone knew that the 12 dominators of the Starry Sky had all perished. Even if the 12 star rulers hadn't perished, the four of them still couldn't believe that the young man beside Longao was one of the legendary star rulers. It was simply nonsense. If he believed this, he would be a little crazy. However, among the four of them, only Che Yimen's expression was unusually solemn. It was said that women's thoughts were very meticulous. Che Yimen knew Longao very well. Especially in this kind of situation, she knew that Longao wouldn't be so free as to come and deceive the four of them. In the end, the four of them were still not qualified. Longao smiled. "Do you think I would lie to you?" Seeing that Longao didn't seem to be lying, the four of them were completely shocked. Could it be that what Longao said was true? Long Chong was the ruler of the stars? Dominator of the five elements Starry Sky? Although they didn't want to believe it, the four of them still told themselves that it should be true. At this moment, the four of them finally understood why Ling Hu Yao had chosen to submit to Longao. It turned out that aside from the fact that Longao could help Ling Hu Yao break through to the Starry Sky Immortal Realm, the most important reason was because of the five-element Starry Sky ruler. The four of them knew very well what it meant to be the ruler of the five-element Starry Sky. In the vast Starry Sky, the 12 rulers controlled the entire Starry Sky. Now that the five elements ruler was Longao's little brother, didn't that mean that Longao was the five elements ruler's older brother? F***CKME. Unbelievable. It was simply inconceivable. If this situation continued, wouldn't Longao be able to dominate the vast Starry Sky? However, the four of them were not fools. They were more or less confused. Since Longao had the help of the ruler of the five elements Starry Skies, why didn't he directly dominate the vast Starry Skies? Why did he have to endure everything? The only explanation was that the ruler of the five-element Starry Sky had been seriously injured and had not recovered to his peak strength. Otherwise, Longao would not have been in such a state. "The four of you, I've already said that your talents are limited. Even if I'm willing to help, according to my estimation, the best you can do is to break through to the Starry Sky Realm Monarch level." Starry Sky Realm Monarch? Even so, the four of them were already satisfied. Before the four of them could speak, Longao continued, but since you're willing to follow me, I won't mistreat you. He was overjoyed. Later, I will help you find the starry sky divine deity. I don't dare to say anything else, but finding a starry sky divine deity should not be a problem. This was definitely not a gratuitous act. To become a disciple of a starry sky ruler, unless Che Yimin was out of her mind, she would definitely not refuse. There was almost no need to guess that if she could cultivate with a starry sky ruler, her future achievements would not be lower than a starry sky legend, or even a starry sky immortal. Starry sky immortal was a realm that everyone dreamed of reaching. Your master has temporarily left for some matters. He will be back in a few days. I am just letting you know. Thank you. Che Yimin was very glad that she had made the choice. If she had chosen to go against Longao, not to mention becoming a disciple of a starry sky ruler, she didn't even know if she could survive. After Che Yimin left, Longchang asked curiously, Big brother, the four of them are not qualified at all. Why did you do this? Longchang couldn't understand. The four of them had tried to kill Big Brother before. Even if Big Brother was magnanimous and didn't want to pursue the matter, he didn't have to do this. He didn't know what Big Brother was thinking. The empire now needs to develop quickly. I have a feeling that the first empire won't be able to hold back for long. Sooner or later, there will be a big explosion. We must develop at the fastest speed. Therefore, I need the help of the four of them. The first empire was different from the devouring heaven empire. Even Longao was very wary of it. In any case, Longchang and Xiling hadn't recovered to their peak strength, so they wouldn't be of much use. As for Gu Tian, he wouldn't help at all to deal with the first empire. He would only protect the empire. The current empire couldn't compete with the first empire at all. They had to plan early. Chapter 2264. They were afraid of the first empire. Whether it was Longchang or Xiling, their identities could not be leaked. There were always crazy people in the vast universe. If they were at their peak, they could ignore everyone. But now, the situation was completely different. Xiling hadn't recovered his starry sky dominator state, and Longchang didn't know when he would be able to refine the chaos tablet. If this matter was leaked, who knew if people would come looking for trouble? The four of them stayed in the soaring dragon empire, waiting for an opportunity. The news of the heaven-devouring empire's complete destruction and annexation by the soaring dragon empire spread across the entire region. Was it true? In just a few years, Longchang had successfully taken over the soaring dragon empire. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed it. Longchang's annexation of the soaring dragon empire had crossed the first empire's bottom line. Would the first empire let it go? Without a doubt. It would be strange if the first empire let it go. On this day, Tian Dao's sudden arrival made Longchang nervous. After all, Tian Dao was the starry sky dominator. Even if he hadn't recovered, he was still a terrifying existence. Longchang couldn't sense Tian Dao's strength. But according to Xiling's senses, Tian Dao had recovered to the level of a starry sky dominator. He was only one step away from becoming a starry sky dominator. Why was Tian Dao here? Longchang, long time no see. How have you been? There were no eternal enemies in this world, but there were no eternal friends either. Tian Dao, may I know why you're here? He went straight to the point. Longchang knew that he and Tian Dao hadn't reached a point where one of them had to die. At the end of the day, he and Tian Dao were both pawns of the divine mathematician. If Longchang could think of this, Tian Dao must have thought of it as well. You're always so straightforward, Yang Qi said. The reason I'm here today is to ask if you and Master God Diviner have reached some sort of agreement. Damn, it's this again. Longao realized that ever since the Star Sky Rulers had gathered at the Crystal Palace, all the Star Sky Rulers had believed that there was some secret between him and the Master God Diviner. Even now, he had no idea why Master God Diviner had chosen him. In the eyes of Master God Diviner, even the Starry Sky Sovereign was nothing, much less Yang Qi. No, the Heavenly Tao clearly did not believe him. Longao, Master God Diviner helped you from the very beginning. Without him, you would never have made it this far. On this point, Longao absolutely believed. Because of Master God Diviner, the Tao of Heaven had been unable to make a move against him. With his strength back then, as long as the heavenly Tao made a move, he would definitely die. So what? Since it had already happened, there was no point in saying anything more. Longao didn't say anything because he didn't know what the heavenly Tao meant. Longao, do you believe that even now, I can still kill you in minutes? I don't believe it. This wasn't Longao bragging, but Longao was full of confidence. With Xiling, a member of the Star Sky race, there was no way the heavenly Tao would act rashly unless there was something wrong with its head. With the threat of Master God Diviner, the heavenly Tao's top priority now was to find a way to escape from Master God Diviner's scheme and not to deal with him. Longao was very clear about this. He didn't continue to dwell on this issue. The heavenly Tao smiled and said, Longao, I believe you already know about Master God Diviner. Master God Diviner has schemed against all of us, including you. Don't believe anything he says, or you will regret it. Longao smiled. He shrugged helplessly and said, Heavenly Tao, since you have said so, I will also say something. I don't need to say more about Master God Diviner's strength. I believe you know it better than I do. The heavenly Tao didn't say anything, but nodded in agreement. The 12 rulers of the starry sky are the rulers of the 5 elements starry sky, devouring starry sky, lightning starry sky, space starry sky, time starry sky, destruction starry sky, samsara starry sky, massacre starry sky, divine divination starry sky, sword will starry sky, immortal tyrant body starry sky, and darkness starry sky. If nothing unexpected happens, Master God Diviner should be the strongest. Continue. Neither Longao nor the heavenly Tao had the slightest objection to this point. Of the 12 rulers of the starry sky, Master God Diviner was the most mysterious. Because no one had seen him in action, no one knew how strong he was. All this time, the 12 rulers of the starry sky all believed that the ruler of the samsara starry sky, also known as the Dragon Destroyer, had the strongest fighting strength. But now it seemed that the strongest existence was undoubtedly Master God Diviner. The great opportunity that Master God Diviner divined back then should be true. As for what happened to you later, I don't know, and I have no right to speak. But I know that if you want to refine the Chaos Tablet again and restore the ruler of the starry sky, you will have to rely on Master God Diviner. At this point, Longao didn't continue, but the meaning of his words was very clear. How could the heavenly Tao not understand the meaning of Longao's words? It was because of this that the heavenly Tao came to the soaring dragon realm. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so idle. Longao, I can almost say that Longao must have divined something by helping you. If there is no accident, you should be a variable. Since you are a variable, then even Master God Diviner can't grasp it. In that case, I want you to do me a favor. There was no need for the heavenly Tao to say more. Longao had already guessed the other party's meaning. Longao smiled and didn't hide anything. He told the heavenly Tao about the 3 rulers of the starry sky in full detail. Since he had rejected the 3, he also rejected the heavenly Tao. Longao's meaning was very simple. He didn't want to intervene in the affairs of the rulers of the starry sky. You mean you don't want to intervene? And he didn't hesitate to offend the heavenly Tao because this matter was of great importance. Longao knew very well that if he intervened, there would be endless trouble. Who knew what would happen? Longao, do you think you can stay out of this? The heavenly Tao didn't get angry at all. Instead, he smiled and continued, Longao, you are a smart man. I believe you should know that since Master God Diviner has chosen you, you can't run away. Even if you want to stay out of this, it is impossible. If you stand with me, I can guarantee it. Thank you for your kindness, but I won't intervene. Longao refused without giving the heavenly Tao a chance to continue speaking. Chapter 2265. Tian Dao's expression turned a little ugly. Longao didn't give him any face. If it was before, it would have been fine. After all, Longao didn't know that he was the ruler of space. But now? Longao clearly knew that he was the ruler of space, yet he still rejected him. Didn't that mean that he didn't put him in his eyes at all? Tian Dao, I have a few words. Are you willing to listen? Please speak. Tian Dao knew that since Longao dared to reject the three rulers of space, he would definitely reject him as well. Tian Dao, the divine mathematician, has already tampered with the chaos tablets of the 11 of you. If nothing unexpected happens, as long as the divine mathematician doesn't act, you won't be able to refine the chaos tablets and become the new ruler of space. How could Tian Dao not know this point? So what if he knew? It was because of this that Tian Dao was furious to the extreme. What did Longao mean by this? Tian Dao, forgive me for speaking bluntly, but the only way now is for you to ask the divine mathematician to help you refine the chaos tablets. As for me, you'd better not look for me. Longao was the one with the most pain in the ass. The three of them were like this, and so was Tian Dao. Longao, are you determined not to help me? No. Then what do you mean? Tian Dao was completely confused. What did Longao mean? Tian Dao, I can only say this. If there is a chance in the future, I will definitely be willing to help. But you have to make it clear that I can't promise you. Not only you, no matter who it is, even if the divine mathematician personally comes, I will give the same answer. Are you satisfied? Since things had already come to this, what could Tian Dao do? But at this moment, Long Chong and Xiling's figures appeared instantly. 3 months had passed. Whether it was Long Chong or Xiling, with the chaos tablets, there was basically no threat. As for this matter, Longao didn't leak it out. Apart from them, no one else knew about this, including the divine mathematician. Xiling, who are you? Of course, Tian Dao knew Xiling. As the Sword Will Starry Sky Dominator, they had been dealing with each other for countless years. As for Long Chong, Tian Dao was very shocked and did not know what was going on. The Heavenly Dao could clearly sense that Long Chong's body was emitting a powerful 5 elements qi. In other words, this person had the 5 elements Chaos Stone Tablet. Long Chong was definitely not the ruler of the 5 elements Starry Sky. Since this person wasn't the 5 elements sovereign, then why did he possess the 5 elements Chaos Stone Tablet? As if he could guess what the Heavenly Dao was thinking, Longao smiled and said, Heavenly Dao, to tell you the truth, the ruler of the 5 elements Starry Sky has truly fallen, and my brother has obtained the 5 elements Chaos Tablet. He did not intend to continue hiding this matter. Longao's meaning was clear. Others could keep it a secret, but there was no need to hide it from the other rulers of the Starry Sky. With Long Chong and Xiling in charge, the situation would definitely be different. The Heavenly Dao was extremely shocked. Until now, he really did not know that the ruler of the 5 elements Starry Sky had fallen. No wonder he hadn't seen the ruler of the 5 elements Starry Sky when the rulers of the Crystal Palace had gathered. It turned out that the ruler of the 5 elements Starry Sky had fallen. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed it even if he was beaten to death. After a brief moment of shock, the Heavenly Dao calmed down. Since things had come to this, what else could he say? The Heavenly Dao finally understood why Longao had been so arrogant. Not only had he rejected the 3 rulers of the Starry Sky, but he had also rejected him. It turned out that he had nothing to fear. With 2 rulers of the Starry Sky helping Longao, Longao was completely fearless. Xiling had a fiery temper and disliked the Heavenly Dao. He said coldly, Heavenly Dao, you talk too much nonsense. Longao's words were very clear. Do you find it interesting? Without giving the Heavenly Dao a chance to speak, Xiling continued, don't you think that the oracle said this on purpose? What do you mean? Think about it yourself. The Heavenly Dao, if you want to cause trouble, we are ready to teach you a lesson. Xiling was overbearing, but he was also a ruler of the Starry Sky. Xiling was not afraid of the Heavenly Dao. If worst came to worst, they could go to war. The Heavenly Dao wouldn't know who would win. The Heavenly Dao wasn't stupid. Even if the 2 of them fought, the Heavenly Dao wouldn't intervene. Not to mention the oracle and the threat of Long Chong. Xiling's strength didn't need to be mentioned. The power of the will of the Starry Sky was comparable to the power of Long Mie. Xiling, you have to know that the oracle will control you in the future. Aren't you worried? Would Xiling be worried? The heavenly Tao did not know that the power within the sword intent chaos stone tablet had already been completely removed. Violet Spirit could refine it without any problems. But of course, Violet Spirit would not say anything about this. If word of this leaked out and the heavenly Tao found out, then it would be a small matter. If word of this reached the ears of the divine mathematician, then it would be a big problem. The heavenly Tao, we will talk about the future in the future. You and I haven't recovered to the starry sky immortal level. The most important thing now is to recover to the starry sky immortal level as soon as possible. When the time comes, we will discuss how to deal with this. In that case, I will take my leave. Things had come to this. Even if he stayed, he wouldn't get any benefits. The heavenly Tao had to stand up and leave. Looking at the disappearing figure, Longao snorted and said coldly, "Big brother, why didn't you leave the heavenly Tao here? With the three of us working together, we should be able to deal with it." Longao was domineering, but Xiling shook his head and said, "Things aren't as simple as you think. The 5 elements of the starry sky must have been abandoned by the will of the starry sky during the process of reincarnation. Otherwise, the 5 elements of the starry sky wouldn't have died. So, as long as the space of the chaos stone doesn't break away from the heavenly Tao, it's almost impossible for us to destroy it." Longao nodded and said, "Xiling is right. If we don't have the confidence, we shouldn't act rashly. If we can't destroy the heavenly Tao, we will go for wool and come home shorn." Longao didn't say anything, but his face was full of anger. He kept coming to cause trouble. "Longao, we can't go on like this. The clairvoyant must know that these people came to find you. If he thinks too much, you will be in big trouble." Longao knew what Xiling meant. He thought for a moment and said, "You are right. It seems that I have to go find the clairvoyant." Longao didn't want to leave just like that. He didn't want the clairvoyant to misunderstand him. If he caused trouble for himself, the gains wouldn't make up for the losses. Chapter 2266. Sky Marshal Plain. Outer Sea, Crystal Palace. Master Godly Mathematician wasn't surprised by Longao's sudden arrival. "Senior, I came to see you this time because..." Before Longao could speak, Master Godly Mathematician said, "Sit down." As soon as Longao sat down, Master Godly Mathematician continued, "I already know about Tian Dao, Longming, and the others. I like what you did." Sure enough, Longao had already guessed that Master Godly Mathematician must have known about this. Fortunately, he had come. Under such circumstances, Longao would rather be enemies with Tian Dao and the others than fight Master Godly Mathematician. They tried to fight me, but they overestimated themselves. If I wanted to, I could kill them at any time. Master Godly Mathematician seemed to have become a different person. Longao was very curious, but he didn't have the slightest doubt. Given the current situation, Master Godly Mathematician could indeed kill the other rulers of Starry Sky. The only reason he hadn't done so was because of the mysterious place. "Longao, do your thing. You'd better not interfere with the matters between me and the other rulers of Starry Sky. Otherwise, no matter who it is, I won't give face to anyone." I know that. This was the reason he had come this time. The current situation was very clear. Among the 12 rulers of Starry Sky, Master Godly Mathematician was the strongest. If it weren't for the mysterious place, Master Godly Mathematician would have destroyed the other rulers of Starry Sky long ago. He sighed deeply in his heart. Master Godly Mathematician had come to find him. It seemed that it would be impossible for him to stay out of this in the future. Not to mention other things. Just because of Longao and Xiling, he couldn't stay out of it. If Master Godly Mathematician found out that the two were out of his control, he would undoubtedly take action. "Longao, your cultivation base has improved well, but you still have to speed up. The mysterious place is about to open. If you miss it..." Master Godly Mathematician didn't finish his words, but Longao understood the meaning of his words clearly. "I know what to do." Normally speaking, Yang Qi's cultivation speed wouldn't have been slow, but he was in a special situation right now. Just as Master God Diviner had said, once that mysterious place opened, he would go all out. Therefore, whether or not Yang Qi would be able to enter that mysterious place was still up in the air. Longao got up and left. Longao didn't tell anyone about his secret trip to the Heaven Martial Plane. There was a loud bang. The lightning sovereign, falling wood, destroyed an entire plane. If it were anyone else, would they dare to do this? However, Luomu did not take it to heart. Back when he had awakened his primordial spirit, it was precisely this plane that had nearly killed him. It was precisely because of this that Luomu had decided to destroy it. What are you doing? Seriously. Without waiting for the onlookers to finish speaking, Luomu directly attacked. He killed every single one of them that came. Looking at the man who was crazily slaughtering, everyone was completely stunned. Longao, who was preparing to return to the soaring dragon bit wall, was also surprised to see Luomu destroying the bit wall. Longao didn't know whether Luomu was a friend or a foe. If it weren't for Luomu, it would have been difficult for him to leave the reincarnation clan alive. After all, it was Luomu's credit that Longmia hadn't discovered him back then. However, Longao didn't think that he and Luomu were friends just because of this. In this world, there were no eternal enemies and no eternal friends. Longao saw Luomu, and Luomu also saw Longao. He seemed a little surprised. He never thought that he would see Longao at this time. What are you doing? Just cutting the weeds and digging up the roots. Come with me. He really didn't want to see anyone, but he just had to see this person. However, things had already come to this. Longao didn't say much and followed Luomu. In an intermediate plane, Luomu and Longao found a very elegant place to sit down. Do you think that I'm wrong to destroy a plane? I can't comment. Longao didn't intend to ask, because whether it was right or wrong, people who didn't understand had no right to speak. It was just like when he destroyed the Qingkuan plane. Outsiders didn't understand the situation at all. Was he really wrong? Therefore, it was hard to say whether Luomu was right or wrong. Luomu smiled and said, "In the vast starry sky, the strong are respected. If you have the strength, not to mention destroying a plane, even destroying 10,000 realms is child's play. However, you don't have the strength. Not to mention destroying a plane. Even if you kill a person, it will be a big problem." Longao nodded in agreement. This was the cruel reality. Luomu, I'm not interested in this matter. Thank you for before. If you don't have anything else, I'll take my leave first. My empire still has many things to do. Luomu didn't care at all. Instead, he smiled and said, Longao, you and I met this time because of fate. I don't need to guess to know that the oracle must have told you about the mysterious place. After so many years, I already know why the oracle is still unwilling to act. Longao was very curious, because he also wanted to know why the oracle didn't act himself. Could it be that he was really afraid of the mysterious place? This didn't seem to make sense, and no one knew what the reason was. Please tell me. Longao was also very curious about the mysterious place. After all, it was a place that the 12 rulers of the starry sky wanted to enter. Longao was not a fool. Would the other 11 rulers of the starry sky choose to die and enter the cycle of reincarnation because of the oracle's deception? It was almost impossible. Chapter 2267. Longao definitely didn't believe him. Was it because he devoured the 30th tablet? Longao was certain that aside from himself and a few others, no one else knew that he devoured the 13th tablet. Do you have any proof? No proof. But Longao, I can bet with you that my guess is absolutely correct. If you don't believe me, I'll prove it in the future. Luomu didn't seem to be joking. He didn't dwell on this matter. No matter what happened in the future, he could only take one step at a time. Longao, let's not talk about this for now. My tablet has been sealed by the oracle's forbidden power. I can't remove it by myself. I need your help. Did Luomu already know that he could remove the tablet's power? That was impossible. Aside from Xiling and Longchong, not even his parents or lover knew about this. If that was the case, how did Luomu know? Seeing that Longao didn't answer, Luomu smiled and said, You can't do it now, but that doesn't mean you can't do it in the future. Just promise me, and we'll talk about it later. How about it? So that was it. He was wrong. Nodding, Longao agreed. No problem. If I can do it in the future, I'll definitely help you. Good. It's a promise. It's a promise. Luomu got up and left, leaving Longao alone. Ever since the rulers had gathered at the Crystal Palace, things had become very complicated. It seemed that every ruler was looking for him. It seemed that it wasn't just Luomu, but the other rulers as well. He was a variable. If the oracle wanted to enter the mysterious place, he had to rely on himself. If that was the case, then he was in big trouble. How should he deal with it? Soaring Dragon Realm. Seeing Longao's serious expression, Longing asked curiously, "Seventh brother, what happened?" "Nothing. There are just some things I can't solve. Big brother, you don't have to worry about me." Even if he told his big brother about the ruler of the stars, he couldn't solve it. Longing knew what to ask and what not to ask. Even if he could break through the starry sky ancestor realm in the future and become the emperor of the soaring dragon empire, there were still many things he couldn't do in the vast starry sky. He wanted to, but he was powerless. Just do your part well. Seventh brother, the empire has been developing steadily. At this rate, I am sure that we will encounter the 9 great starry sky empires in 10 years at most. At that time, the 9 great starry sky empires may not be willing. How could Longao not know what his elder brother meant? In the vast starry sky, there were a total of 9 top starry sky empires. They were the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th starry empires. The 9 starry sky empires dominated the entire universe. No one dared to provoke them unless the 12 dominators of the starry sky came in person, not to mention the current soaring dragon empire. Even the soaring dragon empire, which was 100 times more powerful than the 9 great starry sky empires, was no match for them. He felt helpless. This kind of thing would happen sooner or later. Longao was not surprised at all because he knew very well that the first empire would take action within a year, let alone 10 years. Now, they had already crossed the first empire's bottom line. This was really an urgent matter. He had to think of a way to deal with it as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would not be easy to deal with it. He felt helpless. If Gutian was one of his men, then everything would be different. The empire had a starry sky immortal guarding it. Even the 9 great starry sky empires would not dare to act rashly. However, Gutian was only guarding it, and was not one of his men. As for his grandfather, Longao, although he had devoured all the starry sky god sparks, he did not know how long it would take for him to break through to the starry sky immortal realm. Elder brother, how do you plan to deal with it? Longao did not have many ways to deal with this kind of thing. He could only wait and see if his elder brother had a good way to deal with it. Longing thought for a while and said, "Seventh brother, according to the speed of our empire's development, we will encounter the 9 great starry sky empires sooner or later. If we choose to avoid or stop our development, it would not be the best way." Longao did not say anything. It seemed that his elder brother had a plan. As expected, according to my considerations, our empire has the deterrence of Senior Gutian and our development speed is very fast. We can develop rapidly and chase after the 9 great starry sky empires in the future. His heart skipped a beat. His elder brother's ambition was not small. He actually wanted to replace the 9 great starry sky empires and enter the 9 great starry sky empires. Others would not even dare to think about it. With the 9 great starry sky empires' strength, who dared to provoke them? Longao did not expect his elder brother to have such an idea. He nodded with a smile and said, "Elder brother, it seems that you have underestimated the 9 great starry sky empires' strength. Unless we can have our own starry sky immortal guarding it in the future, and his strength is at least 10,000 times more than what it is now, only then will we have a chance to shake the 9 great starry sky empires. Otherwise, don't even think about it. It is meaningless." Seventh brother did not agree. Longing was only thinking about it. Of course, he knew that it was a bit far-fetched. However, at this moment, Longao smiled and said, "Elder brother, I support your idea. Since things have already come to this, let's be more daring. You can develop as much as you want and leave the rest to me. I will build a starry sky undead army for you. At that time, you can expand at the fastest speed. Even if you encounter the 9 great starry sky empires, it will be fine. Longing thought that his idea would not get his 7th brother's support. After all, this idea was a bit too exaggerated. Not to mention his 7th brother. Even he himself felt that it was a far-fetched idea. But what was the result? Longing never thought that his idea would get his 7th brother's support. In fact, Longing did not know that Longao was a madman. Even without his suggestion, he would have chased after the 9 great starry sky empires in the future and lead the soaring dragon empire to become the strongest in the vast starry sky. It was just that this matter was brought forward. 7th brother, leave the rest to me. Longao nodded. If the words of the 2 brothers were to spread out, it would probably shock everyone. After all, this idea and method was a bit too crazy. Fighting against the 9 great starry sky empires, these 2 were probably unprecedented. In the following time, Longao prepared to fully refine the starry sky undead army. Chapter 2268. The corpse demons refined by the primal chaos palace and the corpse demons refined by the dragon seal space were 2 different concepts. The current dragon seal had become the primal chaos seal. The corpse demons refined by the primal chaos palace were immortal. Longao could even say that the corpse demons refined by the primal chaos palace could not be completely destroyed, not to mention others. As for whether the 12 rulers of starry sky could be destroyed, it was still unknown. Whether it could be destroyed or not, he would know with a try. Longao, what are you doing? Xiling, I believe you know about the corpse demons I refined. He nodded. Xiling did not know what Longao meant. Why did he suddenly mention the corpse demons? He smiled mysteriously. Xiling, I want you to try and see if you can destroy the corpse demons I refined. What did he mean? He was confused. Xiling certainly knew what Longao meant, but he was overestimating himself. Longao, aren't you a bit too arrogant? Xiling admitted that the corpse demons refined by Longao were indeed powerful. They were far more powerful than the corpse demons refined by Longmia, but he could not destroy them. Wasn't that a bit too ridiculous? How was that possible? Who was he? He was a genuine sword-intent ruler of starry sky. Even if he had not refined the primal chaos stone tablet and become a ruler of starry sky, he should be able to destroy a corpse demon. Xiling, you can try. I am not completely sure. I just refined a level 7 corpse demon. What do you think of its power? Okay, I want to try. Xiling knew Longao's character very well. Since Longao was like this, he must not be talking nonsense. Could it be that the corpse demons refined were really different? Longao summoned a corpse demon from the primal chaos palace. It was only a level 7 corpse demon and started to attack Xiling. Under normal circumstances, even if Xiling's cultivation base had not recovered to the starry sky ruler level, it was still possible for him to destroy the starry sky corpse slaves. At the very least, the starry sky corpse slaves he had refined previously would not be able to withstand Xiling's attacks. But now, Xiling could not truly destroy the starry sky corpse slave. He could only knock it down. Longao, is this true? Would you be able to destroy him if you were a ruler of the starry sky? He was overjoyed. It seemed like his guess was right. The corpse slaves refined in the primal chaos palace were immortal. They were truly immortal. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he would have found it hard to believe. Even the starry sky ruler couldn't achieve immortality, but the starry sky corpse demon he refined could. Longao, I can tell you this very responsibly. Even if I refine the primal chaos stone tablet and restore my cultivation to the starry sky ruler level, I still won't be able to destroy this starry sky corpse demon. As expected. He was pleasantly surprised. This starry sky corpse demon's attack might not be much, but its defense is truly abnormal. This kind of power seems to be above mine. It seems. He wanted to say something but stopped. It seemed like he had something to say. Longao was extremely anxious. He couldn't wait to ask, "Seems like what?" Longao valued his Starry Sky Corpse demon very much. He knew very well what it meant if he could refine such an undead army. Longao looked. At this moment, Xiling summoned the sword intent primal chaos stone tablet from his body. He tried to release the power of the sword intent primal chaos stone tablet. The power is so similar. He didn't know if he didn't sense it. He was shocked when he sensed it. Just as Xiling said, the power of the primal chaos stone tablet was very similar to the power of the Starry Sky Corpse demon. This time, even Long Ao was completely confused. Long Ao, you haven't refined the primal chaos stone tablet. Perhaps you don't know that even if the 12 of us refined the primal chaos stone tablet, we still wouldn't be able to truly control the power within. What does that mean? He didn't know what Xiling meant. If they had refined the primal chaos stone tablet, why couldn't they control the power within? He sighed deeply. Xiling said helplessly, Long Ao, the other Starry Sky rulers should be in the same situation as me. Ever since I refined the primal chaos stone tablet, I've been trying to truly merge with the power within, but I've been unable to do so. I can clearly sense just how terrifying the power within the primal chaos stone tablet is. If I could truly control it, even destroying the entire universe would be a matter of minutes. My God. In the vast universe, apart from you, there is no one else who can shatter the universe. They can even compress it. According to my guess, if nothing unexpected happens, this is the true reason why the Oracle chose you. Even you can't do it? We can't do it either. So, you can imagine how shocked I was when I saw that you could shatter the starry skies and compress the cracks in the starry skies. With our strength alone, we can't do it. But I have a feeling that the true power of the Chaos Stone Tablet might be able to do it. This really was a shocking secret. Long Ao had always believed that the 12 starry sky rulers would definitely be able to shatter the universe. It seemed that he had been overthinking things. It seemed that Xiling's guess was correct. The Oracle really had chosen him for this. Xiling, I have a guess. What guess? I've been thinking about something for a long time. In the vast universe, perhaps there are more than 12 Primal Chaos Stone Tablets. The Primal Chaos Stone Tablet I obtained is the best example. Perhaps there are many more. His face was filled with shock, because Xiling had never thought of this before. Everyone knew that there were 12 Primal Chaos Stone Tablets in the vast universe. The 5 Elements Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Devouring Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Lightning Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Space Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Time Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Destruction Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Samsara Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Slaughter Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Divination Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Sword Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the Indestructible Tyrant Body Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, and the Darkness Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. Besides these, there were no other Primal Chaos Stone Tablets. However, although the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet Long Ao obtained didn't have any attributes, it really was a Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. If Long Ao hadn't said it himself, and if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he really would have found it hard to believe that there really was a 13th Primal Chaos Stone Tablet in the vast universe. If that was really the case, then if there was a 13th Primal Chaos Stone Tablet in the vast universe, didn't that mean that there were other Primal Chaos Stone Tablets as well? The 14th Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, the 15th Primal Chaos Stone Tablet, or even the 16th Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. Chapter 2269. Long Ao, maybe it's just as you guessed. There are other Chaos Tablets in the vast universe. It's just that we haven't discovered them yet. Although it was hard to accept, it wasn't impossible. Xiling seemed to have thought of something. Long Ao, your Primal Chaos Palace actually refined a Starry Sky Corpse slave with the power of the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. Then your Primal Chaos Palace? Long Ao was very clear about what Xiling meant. The Chaos Palace is indeed very mysterious. I haven't truly grasped it yet. When I do, it might be the day when the truth comes out. What are you going to do next? Refine a corpse slave army. Now that he had confirmed that the corpse slaves were immortal, what he had to do next was to refine a corpse slave army as soon as possible. The more he refined, the better it would be for the empire. How many corpse slaves are you going to refine? The current Longao was no longer the same as before. He was a titled world emperor and had many experts to help him. It would be a piece of cake for him to refine a corpse slave army. Although the average Starry Sky corpse slave has an immortal body, its attack power is too weak. It's useless. This was the key point. This was also Longao's biggest headache. Ordinary Starry Sky corpse slaves were useless, and powerful ones were very hard to find. As if he could guess what Longao was thinking, Xiling said, "Longao, you have to remember this. Water can carry a boat, but it can also sink it. Even if the weak corpse slaves are useless, once there are enough of them, they can kill an elephant." That's right. In the following time, Longao did not hesitate at all. He left the soaring dragon domain alone and began to refine the Starry Sky corpse demons on a large scale. It didn't matter if it was a cultivator or a beast. As long as he met someone who wasn't a good person, he would kill them all. Longao didn't kill the innocent. This was his bottom line. Longao's speed in refining the corpse demon was extremely fast because the primal chaos hall could refine the corpse demon in a matter of minutes. In a short span of a month, Longao had already refined over 1 million Starry Sky corpse slaves. Seventh brother, you want me to speed up the expansion? Long Ying was shocked. During this period of time, he had been devouring the strength of the heaven-devouring empire. It was no laughing matter. This speed of annexation was already very fast. If they continued to speed up, the empire's forces wouldn't be able to keep up. No matter what, the soaring dragon empire had just been established. Even at the current rate of expansion, they were already unable to keep up. Longing really couldn't figure out what was going on with seventh brother after not seeing him for a month. Why did they suddenly increase the speed of their expansion? Big brother, I have already refined an army of over 1 million corpses. Therefore, I can continue to expand, and it will be an endless expansion. He was overjoyed. Others might not know, but how could Longing not know the significance of Longao refining a Starry Sky corpse demon? Seventh brother, I understand. Longao handed over the 1 million corpse demons to Big Brother. As for himself, he continued to refine more corpses. Longao only had one goal, and that was to refine an army of tens of millions of corpses. At that time, even if the 9 great Starry Sky empires came, he wouldn't be afraid. However, other than refining corpses, there was another important thing, and that was to increase his strength. Longao knew very well that even if his cultivation had successfully broken through to the titled Universe Emperor, it wouldn't help. In the vast Starry Sky, his strength was nothing. Above the titled Universe Emperor, there were Starry Sky Universe Masters, titled Universe Masters, Starry Sky Universe Emperors, titled Universe Emperors, Starry Sky Universe Ancestors, titled Universe Ancestors. Above them were Starry Sky Almighties, Starry Sky Legends, and Starry Sky Immortals. He still had a long way to go. Therefore, he had to increase his cultivation to the Starry Sky Universe Master as soon as possible. It was easy to say, but it was extremely difficult to do. In the Chaos Palace, now that Longchong and Violet Spirit had both left the Primal Chaos Palace, no matter what, the power within the Primal Chaos Stone tablets that the two of them possessed had been completely removed. Because of this, there was no need for them to continue staying in the Chaos Palace. Moreover, Longao gradually realized that no matter who it was, even if it was Xiling and Longchong, they couldn't stay in the Chaos Palace for more than 3 months. Otherwise, the power of the Chaos Palace could completely erode Xiling and Longchong. Xiling was extremely shocked by this. This was because Xiling had never thought that the Chaos Palace would be so powerful that it could erode him. Even the Chaos Stone tablets didn't seem to have any resistance. Violet Spirit had full confidence in her own primal Chaos Steel. As long as the Chaos Stone tablets didn't leave his body, he would be immortal. Not to mention others, even the marvelous mathematician might not be able to destroy him. However, the Chaos Palace could. Xiling could even imagine that if other Starry Sky rulers entered the Chaos Palace, wouldn't they die without a doubt? Xiling even suspected that if the marvelous mathematician entered the Chaos Palace, he wouldn't even know if he could survive. In the Chaos Palace, Longao had been trying to summon the power to see if he could borrow the power to break through to the Starry Sky Universe master level. He was extremely depressed. Although he had obtained the Chaos Palace, he didn't really control it. Therefore, he couldn't summon the power in the Chaos Palace. In this way, it was almost impossible to borrow the power to break through to the Starry Sky Universe master level. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be easy for him to break through the final bottleneck. After all, the higher he went, the harder it was to break through. However, Longao didn't want to give up. He continued to stay in the Chaos Palace, hoping that he would be lucky. If the mysterious power appeared, he could devour it to break through. With the help of millions of Starry Sky Corp slaves, Longing immediately began to expand wildly. If it were a newly established Starry Sky Empire, no one would pay attention to it. Only the Soaring Dragon Empire. Millions of Starry Sky Corp slaves with immortal bodies. How could any Starry Sky Empire withstand such a terrifying existence? Just like that, the Soaring Dragon Empire's crazy expansion speed became faster and faster. In just a month's time, the surrounding 8 Starry Sky realms were all destroyed by the Soaring Dragon Empire. Since then, the strength of the Soaring Dragon Empire had expanded by 10 times. What kind of concept was that? Although they were angry, they didn't dare to speak out. Although they knew that the Soaring Dragon Empire's actions would cause trouble, an ordinary Starry Sky Empire wouldn't dare to take action. Chapter 2270. The Soaring Dragon Empire's crazy expansion caused the surrounding realms that had not yet been annexed to feel insecure. No one knew when the Soaring Dragon Empire would be implicated. An army of millions of Starry Sky Corp slaves with undying bodies was a little too terrifying. Why haven't the 9 great Starry Sky Empires made a move yet? No one could figure it out. Under normal circumstances, if a Starry Sky Empire dared to expand like this, the 9 great Starry Sky Empires would have already taken action. How could they wait until now? But now, the 9 great Starry Sky Empires were still unwilling to take action. What had happened? Could it be that they were afraid of the Starry Sky Immortals and Starry Sky Legends in the Soaring Dragon Empire? The fact that the Soaring Dragon Empire had Starry Sky Immortals and Starry Sky Legends was still unknown. However, everyone was very clear that if the Soaring Dragon Empire did not have a Starry Sky Immortal or Starry Sky Legend, it would indeed be a troublesome matter. Everyone was very clear what Starry Sky Undying and Starry Sky Legend meant. Not to mention others, even the 9 great Starry Sky Empires wouldn't casually provoke a Starry Sky Undying and a Starry Sky Legend. Was it real or not? He wasn't sure. This could be considered extremely depressing. After annexing 8 regions, the speed of the Soaring Dragon Empire did not slow down at all. Instead, it continued to expand in all directions. At this rate, the Soaring Dragon Empire would become the 10th Starry Sky Empire in less than 10 years. Could it be that the 9 great Starry Sky Empires were really going to watch the rise of the Soaring Dragon Empire? There was still no movement. The 9 Starry Sky Empires didn't move at all. They were all looking at each other to see if the other Starry Sky Empires would make a move. If they were to provoke the Soaring Dragon Empire now, they would definitely start a war. If they were to anger a Starry Sky Immortal, even if they could destroy the Soaring Dragon Empire, they would definitely suffer heavy losses. If that was the case, wouldn't that give him a chance to take advantage of the situation? The 9 grand Starry Sky Empires were not fools. Without full assurance, no one would be willing to make a move. On this day, Jin Wudi rushed to the Soaring Dragon Realm in a hurry. When he saw Longao, he said impatiently, "Brother Long, we are in big trouble now. What happened?" Longao was very curious. He did not know what had happened and why Jin Wudi was so anxious. "Brother Long, there's something you don't know. Right now, the number 1 empire is divided into 2 factions. One faction is unwilling to take action against you. However, the other faction is determined to destroy you. They say that you're disregarding the number 1 empire." He was not surprised at all. Ever since he had annexed the heaven-devouring empire, Longao had predicted that something like this would happen. The heaven-devouring empire had already become a vassal empire of the First Empire. Yet, the First Empire had still taken over the heaven-devouring empire. Just this point alone was enough to make the First Empire unable to tolerate it. He didn't care at all. Seeing that Longao did not take this matter to heart, Jin Wudi was completely flustered. Could it be that Longao really did not put the First Empire in his eyes? Up until now, Jin Wudi still didn't know about the relationship between Xiling and Longchong. If he had known, he probably wouldn't have thought so. However, Longao would not casually reveal their identities, including Jin Wudi's. This matter could be big or small. Brother Jin, come with me? Jin Wudi was very curious, but he still followed Longao out of the hall. Back mountain. Fox Demon? Looking at Linghu Yao in front of him, Jin Wudi was completely stunned. He did not know what had happened and why Linghu Yao would appear here. Wasn't Linghu Yao and Longao enemies? If that was the case, how could the two of them be together and still be fine? Brother Jin, long time no see. This is? Linghu Yao smiled and said, the Black Mountain Old Demon is dead. From today onwards, I'll be following Longao to conquer the world. Huh. Hearing Linghu Yao's words, Jin Wudi was completely stunned. Was this for real? Linghu Yao had actually chosen to submit to Longao? Was this for real? Was this for real? Was this for real? Jin Wudi asked himself repeatedly in his heart. However, he knew very well that this was definitely not fake. How in the world did Longao do it? Why would Linghu Yao choose to submit to Longao? This was really unbelievable. If other people had chosen to submit to Longao, it would be fine. However, Linghu Yao had chosen to submit. This was really unbelievable. Others might not know, but Jin Wudi was very clear about Linghu Yao's identity. A Starry Sky legend. His cultivation had already recovered to the level of Starry Sky ancestor. In the future, Linghu Yao would definitely become a Starry Sky legend. Jin Wudi knew better than anyone what it meant to become a Starry Sky legend. How could such a super expert willingly submit to Longao? He would rather be beaten to death than believe that this was real. Brother Long, what happened? Nothing. Linghu Yao and I hit it off at first sight. That's why he chose to stay in the Soaring Dragon Empire. Would Jin Wudi believe it? Of course not. However, Jin Wudi knew that Longao and Linghu Yao were not willing to talk about this. Since that was the case, what was the point of continuing to ask? What was going on? The more he thought about it, the more incredulous he felt. Longao was too powerful to be able to subdue Linghu Yao. If he did not see it with his own eyes, he would not believe it even if he was beaten to death. Jin Wudi sighed helplessly. Longao was too mysterious. Jin Wudi smiled bitterly and said, Brother Long, you really amaze me. It has only been a few months since we last met, and your cultivation has increased again. Congratulations. Titled World Emperor. Jin Wudi also did not expect that Longao's cultivation would reach the level of a titled World Emperor in just a few months. This cultivation speed was too terrifying. Jin Wudi was a titled Universe Master. He knew very well what Longao's cultivation speed meant. If this situation continued, Longao's strength would catch up with his sooner or later, and it would not be far. Although Jin Wudi was happy that Longao was able to reach the level of a titled World Emperor in such a short time, he could not help but sigh. Longao's cultivation speed was too fast. On the other hand, he was still unable to reach the level of a Starry Sky Realm Emperor after so many years. Did he really have to devour the Starry Sky Godhood in order to increase his strength? Jin Wudi was not willing to devour the Starry Sky Godhood unless it was absolutely necessary. This was because everyone knew that once a Starry Sky Godhood was devoured, it would be much more difficult to reach a higher level in the future. Brother Jin, why don't you stay for a few more days? Yes, my master will come later. He wants to meet you. I will wait here for him. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.